Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm 4 minutes late. I've just had a nightmare. Mo beat me up. I was going through all my links that I want for today, and I thought, you know what? I put them all in the description because I was being prepared. So any videos you see today, I can say the links are in the description. So I've gone in the back end, went to open it, links gone, mate. All of them gone. So I'm literally frantically going, quick. So I've got them all back. So yeah, I'm a bit late because I was doing that frantically. But then I realised I had them all saved in my watch later file anyway. So I was like, oh, okay, Muppet. What a Muppet.
But yeah, you're here now.
But yeah, I finally made it. I've got blooming videos, like, from their news and all this, that, and everything else. There's some photos I can show you from the PJ files. There's Kate and Gerry McCann's statement. That's all up online. It's really long. We probably ain't got time to go through all of it, but we can bring it up so people can have a kite, or you can pick little bits out of it or whatever. But I've got I think it's 9 minutes with Sonia Poulton talking to Andrew Gold. Sonia Poulton says.
I just watched that, actually. Yeah, I watched part of it.
No way.
So she's a good journalist. She's very, very good.
Yeah, I've followed her for years. So because she was all like, "Oh, the Wizard's back," because after I had my heart attack and all that. So yeah, she's a lovely lady. I follow her on X. Or did before my other account got banned. But yeah, we can go through that. We can stop it and say whatever we want to say, start it, stop it, whatever. But it's literally
sure.
I think I had about 4 or 5 different videos that we can watch, which is all good.
Yeah, sure. We'll follow along your guide, I suppose. I have a few videos as well, but then we can save that for another time. Or if you want, I can download the video file and then we could share it. Do you know Dr. Todd Grand?
No.
He's a kind of personality behavioral expert. He's commented on McCanns before. He's commented on John Benet Ramsey. That's a very interesting case as well. Do you heard about John Benet Ramsey?
Yep. I know that case. That's a weird one. That's I
can hear your video.
What video?
I can hear your video. I can hear it right now.
What one?
No,
I've got nothing open. Where is it?
That's me. Never mind.
Oh, it's you. Oh my god, you have me in panic then. I'm like, what? But
actually, I'll download the file in case we can.
You can actually present it on screen if you've got it on YouTube or whatever and want to bring it up. You should have the option to present on the StreamYard.
Sure.
So you can.
But I'm not logged into StreamYard. I'm not logged into StreamYard. I'd rather download the video file. Just use like YouTube to MP4. But anyways, yes. Let's start the case. Start the investigation, shall we?
Let me open up, see what videos we've got here. Probably because there's the news ones, they're like 2-3 minutes long or whatever. I won't play others, they're like 40 minutes long. But there's a 39-second one of Gerry McCann, like 2.5 minutes when they're on the news, and a 3 minute when they had an interview. We can watch those 3 ones, and then it's a 10-minute one with Sonia Poulton. Then we can watch that because what she says is fascinating, and I'm probably more on the lines and in tune with what she's saying there as well, which we probably will be. But we'll do the short ones to start with, just so we know we had a little clip of who they are and what they're doing and what they were saying and that. But
wait, what about their their very first interview? The 2007, 25th of May one. Have you got that one as well?
Not too sure. Let's have a look. Let me have a look, geese. See what people are going to say about this, and be interesting to see what they're going to say in the comments. What was it? McCanns when?
25th of May, 2027.
2027? It's been too bad.
2007.
Oh, happy days.
2007. Yeah, it must be like
that's
7 years old or something.
11 minutes, that one.
Yeah, that one's really telling because you commented on it before.
Yeah.
That one's a really
I
telling
did.
interview.
Yeah, we can do that as well. Yeah. So
God, it tells you everything of it, just their body language and everything.
Yeah. Like in my video, I'm not claiming to be any type of expert. This is just, I don't know, it's a gift. I can just pick up on things, but I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm open, to, I might interpret something wrong because, like I don't say someone's lying. I'm just saying like there's signs of deception. That's totally different. You know what I mean? So, but
there's red flags.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Okay, shall we play it?
A load of red flags, but what one do you want? Do you want the one that we just said, the 25th of May? We can do that one first if you like, because obviously
we'll do that one first. We'll do that one first, and we can pause play whilst we're.
Yeah, of course we can, mate. Yeah. That's not a problem. There it is. Let's get it up. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. So, I haven't said hello to everyone in chat. Hello, Phil. Hello, Slim. Hello. Oh, Guardian's Mo's in chat. Hello, Guardian Mo. Michelangelo. Who else? Beats and Tapes, Mr. Waffle, Brian Jones, Bobby De Niro X. That's quite cool, isn't it? How you all doing? Hope you're all well, ladies and gents. It's a break from the news and everything. We're going down the McCann route, all because of Guardian Mo. And I haven't done it in ages, so it's nice to do a refresh. This is 11 minutes, but we're going to start and stop it. Obviously, Mo, if anything pops up and you like to stop it, do you know what I mean? Just say stop, and then we'll go there. So, and make sure we can hear it as well.
Gerry and Kate, thanks very much for talking to us. I'd like to begin by taking you back to the events of May the 3rd, that evening. Tell us how you discovered that Madeleine had gone.
As I think people are aware, we were checking regularly.
See, straight away there, right, this is how my eyes work. But look at Gerry, he's looking down already as if like that. when someone talks to you and you look down, it's like you're dismissing it, like you don't want to answer it. So that's why.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. There's what's called avoidant behavior, as if he's uncomfortable sitting there talking about it. And especially if I was to... Yeah, if I were to comment on the environment they're in, it's a really quiet room, so it's even more unsettling if you're a prime suspect or people have eyes on you.
Yep, and their claim, I don't know if you saw, but they were apparently told by police to show no emotion because obviously the kidnapper would obviously get off on that. Have you ever heard so much rubbish in all your life? I mean, if you're going to be emotional, be emotional. But if you're emotionless, there's a reason for that, because somewhere along the lines, you're probably not a very nice person and you've got more to do with it than, do you know what I mean? Because you don't know how to act and you've got no emotions. So how can you have no emotions about your daughter being missing?
Exactly. And you've got bones in the closet. Well, I think if you got an overwhelming sense of emotion, especially if you're a woman, don't do the interview. Just don't go in there and don't sit down with a news reporter or a journalist. Just keep it behind closed doors. You don't have to come out in public. That's the red flag, I think. The big red flag. Them coming out so publicly as if to advertise it.
Yep, and that Kate, she and half looks at Gerry a lot for sort of reassurance or for him to take over. She's quite, if you're talking to someone, you don't keep looking at your partner who's literally right next to you, but she does, and it's just weird that she does that.
Maybe.
So,
and it was during one of my checks that I discovered she'd gone. I'm not going into details about that, but
how can you not go into any details about that? Yeah, you can.
I don't want to go into any details. Like, what kind of justification is that?
It's like my daughter's missing, but I'm going to tell you nothing. Is that right? Okay, bye. Do you know what I mean? What?
So I don't want to get into it now at this moment.
Yeah, no. To be honest, I want to go and watch EastEnders.
I felt
Did the panic set in the...
Yeah, pretty much.
There's panic set in. Pretty much. Blink, blink. Pretty much. Blink, blink. What?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll be like,
just a walk in the park,
yes,
you know?
mate.
There's nothing.
Yeah. It just
Oh, like, yeah,
so...
sure.
Oh, it's like, did the panic set in? I'd be like, mate, that has got to be the most stupidest question. It was panic. It was fear. Like my heart fell out of my a-hole. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
what I would say is like,
much.
I just almost went through a mental breakdown, literally. Like it was as if the world was ending around me. Like my daughter's gone, pretty much.
Like, oh, pretty much. I was thinking about whether to have fish fingers or sausages for tea. Pretty much. It's just. Oh, it's the actual words that they use. It just we're not going to get through this. We're 38 seconds in, and we've already like ripped it for like 10 minutes. Oh my word! I mean, you know, me and you, like, we're not professionals, and we're picking this up. I mean, there must be people out there who do this for a living, like Detective.
Yeah.
He done about an hour and 40 minutes worth or something. So there's a lot there. Do you know what I mean? If he can pick it to
no, mate, his
hours.
investigation's like 8 hours worth. It's like 8.5 hours worth last time I checked.
Yeah,
but like
he's a very talented person.
I mean, to think about it, like if you think about it, it's not even. I don't even think we should be laughing at this point. Look at poor Madeleine in the background. Like that girl's gone missing. And look at these two Muppets. They show no emotion whatsoever. Like they're just. I've never seen them break down ever, especially Kate. Like, how can you, as a mother, you know, of a missing child, like how can you just sit there without crying or breaking down or, you know, going in getting yourself into the right fit, or just your makeup is, you know, smeared all over your face or whatever, and tears rolling down. All of that's missing. It's just gone out the window. But keep playing it.
But even 6 months later, you have to talk about your missing child or your child that had potentially been killed. You're going to start crying again, even 6 months later. So yeah, you're right. It just doesn't add up.
This is a resort that offers childcare facilities, babysitting facilities. Why then were the young children left in the apartment while you were having a meal?
I mean, I think if you know you've seen, what we did, I think, been reassured by the fact in the thousands of messages from people who've
literally before he's even said a word, we've already been reassured. So in other words, he's saying like you've got to take what he's saying as gospel, maybe. Like, oh, well, you know, we've already been reassured by thousands of people. Well, say it then. What are you going to say? It's all. I think, you know, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's interesting with Gerry because it's almost like he's looking at the investigation as it being independent from Madeleine. It's like, yep, the investigation. We look at the statistics. We look at the numbers. We look at these thousands of messages reassuring us. Like, who in their right mind says that? Like, your daughter's been kidnapped or she's disappeared. Like, you don't suddenly up statistics like thousands of. It's just weird.
Either done exactly the same or said they would have done the same. And for us, really won't be to having dinner in your garden and the proximity of the location.
Is he on drugs? You're going to say it as well. It takes about 6-7 minutes or something to walk from there to there. Unless you walk fast, it could take you 3 or 4 minutes.
No, he forgot to take his drugs.
So that's like being in your garden.
You've got to take his sanity drugs. Wait, so it felt nothing. It felt no different from dining in your back garden. So you're telling me that the seafood restaurant was like, how much was the distance? Was like 500 yards or something? Or I forgot how.
Well, a 6-7 minute walk. A casual walk was 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, like a 6-minute walk from the seafood restaurant to the apartment. And you're calling that just a dining in the back garden kind of scenario? Like, they should have been charged for child neglect. Like, you literally left your child. Like, you know, she probably wouldn't be kidnapped, you know, in a place like that. Portugal's pretty safe, especially Praia de Luz. But like, you know, she could trip, she could fall, she could knock her head, she could, I don't know, drown in a bathtub playing in the water or something. She could fall out the window. Anything could happen when your child is left alone, especially when. How old was Madeleine? She was like, what, 5 years old, 6 years old, I think.
Yeah, something like that. 5, 4. What was it?
I think it was 5. I mean, she can speak, but it's just like she doesn't have the mental capacity to be able to carry herself. So, you know.
So I'm just gonna.
Right, let me charge my headphones.
Oh yeah, she was born in 2003, so she was coming up to her 4th birthday.
Okay.
So yeah, she was literally just getting ready to turn 4. Just days away. So she was born the same day as me, May the 12th. So,
dude, poor girl, man.
Oh, I know. It makes me feel ill. That's why it bugs me when parents are so like this, flippant.
I think it's fair to say that, you know, the guilt we feel having not at that moment, irrespective of whether we had been in the other bedroom or not, will never leave us.
Do you blame yourself regularly?
Certainly the first few days, the guilt was very difficult. But I think as time goes on, we feel stronger.
No, you don't. You just, if you feel guilty, you feel guilty. Surely.
Wait,
It's
hold
ongoing.
on
You
a
feel
minute.
guilty.
Hold on a minute. So let's just come into the mindset that Madeleine has been kidnapped. Okay. So we all assume Madeleine's been kidnapped and she's off in some foreign country. She's somewhere where she's unsafe. She could probably be being, you know, sexually assaulted at this moment or whatever, you know, going through, you know, suffering. And she says that as time progresses, we feel more reassured, we feel stronger. I don't think any sane thinking parent or concerned parent for their missing child would say something like that. Like, how, you know, if your child had gone missing, you'd actually, your anxiety would grow as time progresses, wouldn't it? Like, you get more and more anxious and more fearful. Like, you'd spend your days sitting there just hugging a toy or one of Madeleine's, you know, playthings, and just you're desperate to have Madeleine back home, wouldn't you? You'd be desperate to have her home because you're scared and you're anxious and you're fearful that something might be happening to her. Maybe is she dead? Is she still alive? Does she know where she is? Who's in her care? Is she being abused? You know, all of these kind of thoughts come into your head at the same time. So I don't think you can get any stronger as time progresses. In fact, you probably grow weaker as time progresses. That's the normal reaction, wouldn't it?
Yep, you'd think, but you know, don't worry about the guilt. We're getting stronger.
We felt very supported from the point of view.
Is there a lesson here, do you think, to other parents?
I think
is there a message of our parents?
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's a very difficult thing to say, because if you look at it and we try to rationalise things in our head, and ultimately what is done, and we do continually look forward. But we've tried to...
pause there. Did you hear that? What's done is done. He's just secretly admitted that he's that something has happened to Madeleine.
Yeah, can't change it. It's done, mate. It's done. And he's blinking like you would not believe, which is also a sign of deception.
I mean, the video is a bit grainy, but you can tell from his body language. There's something a bit off. There's definitely something a bit off.
But what's done's done, mate. You know, whatever. You know, we're going stronger, mate. Yeah. Got no guilt. It's all good.
Well, you just keep commenting because I have to take a chicken out the oven.
You got chicken in the oven. You don't know I said that.
Perspective for ourselves. We're in a very safe resort. If you think about the millions and millions of British families who go to the Mediterranean each year, really the chances of this happening are in the order of 100 million to 1.
Just make it up. 100 million to 1, mate. Like, what's he trying to say? Because it's such a rare occurrence. So why did it happen then? Why did it happen? Why was this 100 million to 1 opportunity just happened to be Madeleine? That makes zero sense.
I think at worst we were naive. I mean, we're very responsible parents. We love our children very much.
Yeah, very responsible. Literally keeping your kids in a apartment while you're like at least 6 minutes away, drinking, eating, and then like I think she also claims that, you know, they kept regular times to go and see. It wasn't regular. It was like every half an hour. So that's not regular. It's not often, is it? Half an hour. Anything can happen in half an hour.
And I don't think any parent could ever imagine or consider anything like this happening.
Were you aware of the big public debate that went on in the immediate aftermath, and were you hurt by that?
Yeah, I mean, no one hurts you as much as the hurt that we had. But, you know, we've tried to remain very positive in our outlook. And even small levels of criticism make that hard when you're trying to do everything in your power to get your daughter back.
I know you've been very supportive of the Portuguese police investigation, but is there anything that you feel could have been done better, particularly in those crucial first 24 hours when Madeleine was missing and perhaps it was treated as a simple missing child as opposed to an abduction?
I think, you know, we are not looking at what has been done, and I don't think it helps at this stage to look back at what could and couldn't have been done. I think it's fair to say we expected a very British-style response that you would expect if you were in a big metropolitan city. But you have to put it in context that we're in a tiny resort. But, you know, that aside, the times for these lessons to be learned will be after the investigation is finished and not now. You know, it's an ongoing investigation.
Oh, pause right there. You see the problem with Gerry. He keeps talking in hypotheticals, in hypothetical terms. You know, we'll work on settling down the guilt and talking about and discussing about how we could improve. We could have done things, coulda, woulda, shoulda, that sort of stuff, that sort of conversation after the investigation, as if he's objectifying Madeleine's involvement in the case. It's as if he's talking like he's the detective, like he's the one who's kind of involved in solving the case, instead of being the parent of Madeleine. Like this, it's just so odd. Like, why would you say something like that?
Yeah, none of it sort of adds up, does it? Like even now, like literally for the whole of this, not one of them has shown any type of emotion at all, or not even as if they're trying to hold it back.
Psychopaths.
Blooming something.
Both from Portuguese and the British, they're working very, very closely with lots of expert help, and I know there's hundreds of pieces of information continuing to come forward, and I would strongly like to emphasize we would like anyone who's been in here in the 2 weeks leading up to the abduction to come forward if they have not already done so and upload their photographs, because we want Madeleine back and people can still influence that.
Looking back, I mean, did you see anything suspicious in the days leading up to her abduction? Did you notice anything? Have you been racking your brains to try to think whether people might have been watching?
We didn't.
If we did, we wouldn't tell you because it may be important information, but we didn't, you know. It was such a relaxing holiday. And in fact, as a family unit, up until that night, and with the friends we were here, certainly for us, it was as good
just
a
pause right
holiday
there. Just pause right there. Do you see them smile and laugh as if it's, you know, it's just a breeze? There's nothing really to worry about. They don't seem at all anxious or just scared or afraid. They seem quite sort of relaxed. Maybe do you think they were like trained into actually dampening down their anxiety and fear and their negative emotion. Maybe they did kill Madeleine, but accidentally, but they just trained themselves or got professional help into dampening their emotions and suppressing their, anxiety or worry. It's just a bit odd.
Yeah, because I mean, in their eyes, like let's say for argument's sake, because I think what Sonia Poulton said was interesting and probably the case, that she's probably climbed, fell, smacked her head on the marble floor, and that's probably done something. But in their eyes, they are innocent because they did not kill her, which they didn't. It was an accident. But why the cover up and all the rest of it, I don't get it. But in their eyes, they, if they're saying, oh, do you know what happened, this and that, they can just easily sort of shrug that off because it was an accident. They're not murderers, even though them being at the tapas bar 6-7 minutes away is probably a cause. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's linked to I think they said like they're talking to an actual BBC reporter that was on holiday there. They were literally talking to one at the time, and then I reckon Madeleine might have climbed up and then fell and then obviously banged her head. And obviously that would have killed her. But then if your child falls and bangs her head, the first thing you do is call an ambulance, regardless of anything, because there might be a chance you can save their life.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but if she fell out the window, surely there would be witnesses at the time, right? Because it wasn't that late in the evening.
Sofa, they believe, not the window. That window is questionable.
Okay.
I've got evidence of that later, but no, they think it was on the
window.
Yeah, they think she sort of might have climbed up the sofa and tried to look out the window, but then obviously fell behind the sofa, and the dogs actually gave like the sign that there was like DNA there or something. So
no, there's like a blood sample, like blood drops.
Because the old dogs done the honours, didn't they? And the dogs have never been wrong. So now they're trying to make out that dogs are wrong.
They don't lie.
No,
the dogs
exactly
don't fail. Yeah.
Up until that point.
You have to keep believing that Madeleine is still going to be found alive and well.
Absolutely.
Do you ever, though, allow yourself to drift towards negative thoughts?
I think in the early days we did, and I think that's inevitable. I think any parent who's been through this does that, certainly in the first few days. We don't now. We're actually a lot stronger, a lot more hopeful now. And we have to be hopeful. It's what keeps...
Oh, pause right there. Pause right there. Animal pause, you see? Pause. Right. She said it again, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Any parent, she's speaking in hypotheticals just like Gerry. Any parent in the early days would feel anxious, scared, worried. But as time goes by, we feel stronger, we feel more hopeful. And you have to be more hopeful. That is not a normal reaction as a parent for a missing child, especially a mother. Do you know what I would say? I'd say that I get more pessimistic as time goes by. Like more and more I feel that, I'd be more frantic. I'd be more worried. I feel that Madeleine's in really, really serious trouble. I want her back. She needs her mummy and daddy. I want her to come home. I always want to make her feel safe, to be protected. That would be something sensible to say. Not like, oh yeah, we've grown stronger as time. I don't think any sane parent would grow stronger as time goes by. This is your daughter you're talking about. It's not your cousin or your neighbor's. Well, even if it's your neighbor's daughter, you'd still be anxious as well.
Yeah, I think people would be acting. They'd act more concerned if it was their blooming pet dog. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of the family.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly.
They're just. That's what I'm saying. Just none of this adds up. It's like the fact that there's something going on there, and the fact they're faking it until they make it. That makes it so obvious because they're not acting right. So if you're not acting right, then something about the situation can't be right because you're trying to sort of overcompensate or something, and it's just become obvious that you're heartless, basically, and emotionless.
Yeah. When I go out delivering, I do see some like posters or signs that people make, oh, missing dog, missing cat, missing pet. And you can actually put yourself in their shoes. What they must be thinking. Your cat's been missing for 1 week or 2 weeks. You just hope and pray that they come back home. That's something that Kate should have said. I just hope and pray to God that Madeleine just comes home safe and sound. The case can, the police can advance forward. And she can say something, comment on the police. That's fine. She can say that, investigation, I hope it goes forward and that the police actually find more and more clues because we want Madeleine back. I'm really scared. I'm really anxious. And frankly, the whole house, the entire house has gone quiet because of Madeleine, because of Madeleine's disappearance. And she her seat is empty. It's feeling cold without Madeleine. We want our Madeleine back, but we've heard nothing about that. There's nothing said that indicates that.
We are 19 years later, and they're trying to put it on that Christian Bruckner. That's just rubbish. I don't think he's got anything to do with it. I don't care who says what.
Yeah, that's just it's a scapegoat. It's just a way to divert people's attention. So just to kick the can down.
He's a horrible human being, but yeah, definitely.
He's literally the can. He's literally inside of the can, that Andrew Bruckner or whatever. And he's kicking the can, trying to brush it under the carpet. Christian Bruckner.
Yep.
Trying to brush it under the carpet. The perfect scapegoat, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because he's a weirdo.
Keeps us going and keeps us focused.
And what about Sean and Anneli? What have you said to them about their big sister?
They're really good. I mean, they're at an age really where they're still quite young, and I guess it hasn't had the same impact on them as if they were a little bit older. They do talk about Madeleine. They pick up things and say Madeleine's, and that's fine, but they're really good.
I think that's...
Pause right there. Pause right there. Pause right
I think
there.
she's lying.
That is 100% lies, deceit. That's psychopathic behavior. Look at her body language. Look at the way she makes her facial expressions. The two, is it a twin boy and a girl? The two children.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at their age, they still talk to Madeleine as if she's talking about it in a casual way. She's being really casual about the children. What I would say if I were in her position would be, I pray that Madeleine comes back, and I pray that nothing like this happens to any child in the world. And our boy and girl, we're keeping them a lot closer at this point. We're keeping them a lot closer to us. We're keeping our eyes on them. We're checking on them all the time because we don't want what's happened to Madeleine happen to them or any child. That would have been quite a sensible thing to say. But no, and how can you objectify your children as well? They've lost their sibling. Their elder sister is gone. She's gone missing.
Yep.
How can you just speak about that in that way?
Yep. Crazy.
As many people have said to us, that this is a parent's worst nightmare, and it is. It truly is, and it's as bad as you can possibly imagine. But
I just don't give a crap. I'm just going to do this interview, mate. Be all cool about it. Be all casual. We're getting better. The guilt's gone. Feeling stronger. I'm going to go out and have some strawberry ice cream. It's all good, mate. I don't know what I can say about that, really.
If all three of the children had been taken, it could have been even worse than your worst nightmare.
Who would even say that?
Whoa!
Who would even say that? No. One of my kids has gone. Oh, it could have been worse. It could have taken all three. But why did they take Madeleine, who's 3 years old, and not one of the babies? It would have been so much easier to pick a baby up and run with it. Why Madeleine?
Exactly.
Why leave those?
They make less noise.
Take Madeleine.
They make less noise. They're less likely to be a hassle or kick up a fuss. They won't be as physically able or capable to defend themselves as Madeleine, because Madeleine's older. And that's also one red flag as well. if she was kidnapped, if Madeleine was kidnapped, and the kidnappers were part of a smuggling gang, they were the ones who perpetrated this crime. They're part of some kind of child smuggling ring. Like, you know, you've watched the film Sound of Freedom, right? It's how they kidnap these children and sell them off to these organizations that smuggle children and keep them in cages or use them as slaves in Africa or whatever. Why would you target just one child in the middle of Portugal in some random fucking place like Praia de Luz? Why would you just take Madeleine? Why didn't you take the twins as well? Just take all three of them. That's more profitable, isn't it? It's not very profitable just to be targeting one child. And at that time in Praia de Luz, it was just Madeleine in that vicinity out of all the children that was taken. Yeah. So it's just mysterious. Like, why, you know, unless you have like some kind of history with the McCann, the parents, and you want to take revenge on them, and you want to kidnap their children or harm her, blackmail the parents into, I don't know, paying ransom money or something. But this is definitely not this isn't really in line with a kidnapping scenario. If I was a kidnapper and I was running a business, kidnapping and smuggling children, I'd take all three of them. I'd take as many children as I can.
Yeah.
Where's the profitability in that? In just taking Madeleine?
Yeah, I think that again, it all comes back. Obviously, same as like what I keep saying with Sonia Poulton. I don't believe she was abducted. Something happened in that apartment. But for him to say like, "Oh, it could have been worse," I mean, who says that? Like, you know, oh, that's just ridiculous. Crazy, that's the most stupidest sentence, isn't it? Oh, yeah, Madeleine's got kidnapped. We're getting stronger. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. I mean, it doesn't add up, does it? It's like, what planet are these people coming from? Like their mentality. I mean, it's like they don't know what to say because they know what really happened. So they just come out with stuff that me and you can just pick till the cows come home. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the anxiety and fear definitely hit during the first few days, the early days. But as time goes by, we got stronger. Oh, wow. Isn't that brilliant? Yeah. Isn't that convincing? Oh.
I'm not being funny, right? If this was me sat there, I'd be like, I know you're recording, but don't take this the wrong way. But if I ever find out who's done this, I will kill him with my bare hands. That would be a proper reaction because it's emotion. It's like, oh, well, we're getting stronger, mate. We're getting stronger. It's all good. Could have been worse. Do you know what I mean?
I will pin him against the wall or the floor and I will strangle him to death. Like, I will literally kill that mother effer.
I'll grab him by the head and push my thumbs into his eyeballs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it's all good, mate. No, we're all right because we're getting stronger. Getting stronger. You know, could have been worse.
Yeah. Could have been worse. Yeah. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah. Thank God. Our twins.
Yeah, thank God it could have been worse. Oh, thank God he didn't take the other two. Oh, I'm so relieved. It could be so much worse. Oh my God, mate, that's hilarious. That is so bad, but
and we've got to be strong for them. You know, they're here. They do bring you back to earth, and we cannot, you know, grieve. One, we did grieve, of course we grieve, but ultimately we need to so that we
thanks for telling me you grieved. I really, you know, I was worried I didn't think you'd grieve. No, but we did grieve. No, we did grieve. Yeah, we can't grieve, but we did grieve. Yeah, like,
mate, that's a 180-degree plot twist right there. Like, we were grieving, now we're not grieving.
Yeah, but we did grieve. We did grieve. I mean, I want to throw it in there. We did grieve. Yeah, but we're getting stronger. Like, you know, could have been worse, but we grieved a little bit.
Just for the record, we did grieve. We were sad at the beginning. Now we're okay.
I feel like we're watching some sort of comedy here. I've got mate. It's like nearly Tom and Jerry. This is Jerry. Bloody hell, mate. Yes, like He must watch some of this and just think, what?
He probably doesn't, man. He's probably too embarrassed himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Jake. Like the body language, one of control, not grief. But the control, isn't it? That's what it's you got the giggles. It's just retarded, isn't it? Oh mate, but yeah, it's the control that gives it the fakeness, isn't it? Like trying to be as if like he's sitting there as if he's a serving police officer. Do you know what I mean? But maybe because he's getting stronger, because it could have been worse, mate. Could have been worse. You know, wearing a pink shirt could have been worse. No, you're wearing a pink shirt, mate. It don't get worse than pink. Oh no, but you know,
we could produce it. We could produce like an AI scene or something with him dressed up in a police constable's uniform. So yeah, as the day goes by, we're great. We're getting stronger. We're getting better. The case is progressing. The energy is ramping up. She's soon to be found, our dear Madeleine.
Never. Tell you, I was going to do like the videos I do. I was supposed to sort of do in like some body language and like where I'm reading like micro and macro expressions and body language and that. But I saw a few people doing it and they're professionals, and I thought I'll just leave them to it. But when I'm doing things like this, it makes me think, because I could have carried on, because some of these are just so obvious and so funny, literally funny. I mean, the whole situation is so horrible, it's so heinous, and they're literally just coming across as absolute amateurs. It's like, we got to act through this and we screwed it up. That's how it comes across.
Yeah, it's just suspicious, highly suspicious. Yeah, keep playing.
Yep.
Influence and help in any way possible, not just Sean and Amelie, but the investigation.
And because of them, the day may come when you have to leave here and go back to the UK. I know you've got no plans to do so at the moment, but how do you think you're going to feel if that day comes and you have to go to the airport and fly back?
I can't think about that, Ian, to be honest. I can't think about going home without Madeleine. So.
Oh, wow. We found a sensible moment. I mean, okay.
Shame.
That's the only credit I can give her.
Let me go back, right? Watch this bloke talk. Oh, watch the bloke talk when he's asking the questions. Watch his eyes, and then watch Kate's eyes when she answers.
Okay, I know you've got no plans to do so at the moment, but how do you think you're going to feel if that day comes and you have to go to the airport and fly back?
I can't think about that, Ian, to be honest. I can't think about going home without Madeleine.
6, 7, 8, 9.
I notice you've got
9 times she blinked. That bloke asked a question and didn't blink once. 9 times. There's something going on in her head. That's a clue that something's not right. You don't blink that many times.
Yeah, when you're nervous or when you're scrambling for words and your thoughts are all jumbled up and you're trying to mash them together into one cohesive sentence, you tend to blink. Yeah, that's quite a telling sign.
And
but she answered it quite well. She answered it quite well.
Yeah,
she answered the
did.
Question
like
well.
It come across as more of a reasonable thing. Like, but
more convincing.
To be honest, I would be thinking about it because I don't want to do it. So I would personally be thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. The thought of going home, I feel sick. I am not going home ever without my own daughter. Ain't happening. So she sort of said it, but not really. Do you know what I mean? And that blinking, like I say, that can also be when you're sitting there, you want to have a little nervous twitch or something with your hands, or you might wobble your leg or something. But because she's so controlled, like what Jake was saying, actually, then that can sort of transfer that I need movement. So again, you start blinking because you're trying to sort of compensate for something else. But yeah, I mean, the answer was, I mean, I'll put it as one of the better answers. I wouldn't say it's the ideal answer, like I said, but
Madeleine's cuddly toy with you as always. How did that start? And
Cuddle cat.
What comfort does it bring you?
Where did it come from? Or
no, how did the idea come to just have it in your hands all the time?
Well, it's something that Madeleine has with her every night, and if she's upset or not well, then she has Cuddle Cat, and so it provides me with a little bit of comfort. It's something of Madeleine close to me.
That's overkill. Her eyes again. That's overkill. You wouldn't carry that everywhere. You'd leave it at home.
I'm not sure if you actually picked up on the detail about that little cuddly toy. The thing about it is she chucked it into the washing machine, I think a day later, allegedly.
Yes.
Like a day after
Yeah,
Madeleine was missing, she chucked it in the washing machine, and it had a very strong scent of Madeleine. You know, it was Madeleine's cuddly toy. You know, it had her scent. Her hair must have brushed onto it a million times. So why would you wash the toy? Like, you want to hold on to anything that you can remember about Madeleine, like some kind of memory, her scent, the way she smells. Why would you chuck in the washing machine as if it's already been done and dusted? There's nothing to settle anymore. There's nothing to, it's just very odd behavior. That's alleged. I don't know if she actually did that.
Yeah, apparently that is. I've read or heard that as well. But yeah, that's the last thing you'd do. You know, it's like your husband's got a top or something and dies. You'd never wash it because it smells like your husband. Do you know what I mean? And even if you felt like you didn't want to hold it anymore as you're getting over the grieving process or whatever, the chances are, say, a woman would take her husband's jumper or hoodie or something and she'd probably hang it up, but she still wouldn't wash it. Because that way, in her head, she knows it's his top. It smells like him. So you don't wash it even after like 10 years. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And I read or heard someone say something along those lines. I thought exactly the same then.
Honestly, that Madeleine has it there every night. And if she's upset or not well, then she has Cuddle Cat. And so it provided me with a little bit of comfort, something of Madeleine close to me.
This is International Missing Children's Day. I mean, I guess Madeleine's had more publicity than just about every missing child in the world put together. I'm sure you're very grateful for that. Why do you think it has provoked such enormous public support, of which I don't think we've ever seen before?
I think there's a conglomeration of circumstances that have come together in this situation. The fact that we're on holiday, very safe resort, recognised for that. And of course, the world has changed in terms of information technology and the speed of response, you know, in terms of the media coming here and us being prepared to some extent, use that to try and influence the campaign. But above all else, it's touched everyone. Everyone. You don't have to have a major
pause. You see what he did there? Just going on and on, just this word salad. As if there's nothing to worry about. Like he's trying to divert people's attention away from the emotional side and trying to delve into that, you know, statistics and talking about, you know, hypotheticals, society, technology, and how we've advanced. It's like he's a police constable or something. Yeah, technology has advanced forward. We've made a lot of improvements in technology. That's how we're able to track down Madeleine a lot better now than we would in the 1990s. He's talking like a journalist, he's not talking like a concerned parent, that's for sure.
No, you wouldn't guess he was the father if you had to watch some of these clips.
Exactly.
Impact on you. And I think it's also been very, very important. And some of the things which we have done and said, which we didn't realise what impact they would have, but so many thousands of people are doing small things to help us find Madeleine, because the worst feeling was helplessness, the absolute worst, that we had no bearing on finding her.
Yeah, what losing her is that feeling of helplessness. That was worse than actually realising Madeleine was missing.
No, it's not. I don't think helplessness is the emotion that should be felt at this time. It's desperation, not helpless. Desperate. You should be desperate at this point. Desperate to find Madeleine, track her down. The police land on whoever's kidnapped her, whoever's perpetrated the crime, and that she's brought back home. Desperation, fear, anxiety, worry. You're frantically running around, pacing about the house, thinking about clues, thinking about what went on in the apartment, you know, retracing your steps. That was the red flag that I saw when Kate was explaining, like, you know, Gerry was saying, if you rewind the tape, the guy was asking him, Is there anything that you would have done differently? Anything you could retrace your steps if you look back in retrospect? Anything that, you know, was there anything suspicious at the apartment during that night, during that evening of dining? And Gerry was like, nah, there's no point. There's no point of going back and re-examining the sequence of events. It's done and dusted already. Yeah, she's dead. You go stronger now.
So many.
Yeah, I'll take it back a little bit so we can re-listen.
Thousands of people are doing small things to help us find Madeleine, because the worst feeling was helplessness. The absolute worst, that we had no bearing on finding her. But once you start to do that, then you start to feel a bit better. And I hope
pause. Do you notice how they keep talking in past tense, as if it's what's done has been done? They keep talking in past tense. That past tense is a big clue. Huge.
Look back at the end of all this and say that we have done everything in our power, but also that other people are helping in so many other ways, and they feel.
See that? It actually says other people helping us when he does that. So in his head, he's thinking, no.
That they are part of it.
Does it worry you that people might start to lose interest as time goes on, the media coverage diminishes inevitably?
For me, we know that the media coverage is not going to last a long time. It's lasted much longer, and we have been much, much more successful in driving our message out than we could ever possibly have imagined. Personally, I think it's gone beyond that at the minute, and that there is a feeling with many, many people out there that they will not allow this to happen. And we know that, and we pray that it doesn't happen again, but when it does, the speed of the next response and the template we have set will alter it. And there has been so much goodwill and humanity out there that it really has restored, that one evil act actually has resulted in so much good.
Where do you go from here? There's talk.
Whoa, pause right there.
That just sounds back. Like watch his eyes.
The way a police constable would be talking.
Watch what he does with his eyes when he says evil act.
So much goodwill and humanity out there that it really has restored, that one evil act actually has.
See that? So one evil act and then close eyes.
Yeah, how many times you have to blink? Fucking hell.
Yeah, and it was a long blink.
Like a repeated process. Like keep blinking.
And it's like, so he did not believe it when he said an evil act. So that again could say, what was it, an accident then? Because that's
no, he's talking
long.
His whole speech and the way he carries himself in this interviews, it's like he's talking like a police constable.
Yeah, it's quite like.
And he even objectifies Operation Grange and saying that like it's gained so much traction on social media and it's exceeded our expectations, as if it's some kind of business, like some kind of personal side hustle or a business, like you're supposed to grow it exponentially and expand its reach across social media. Like what the fuck? Like that's your daughter you're talking about. Like you probably want to protect a bit more of her privacy, your privacy. It's just a bit suspicious.
Resulted in so
more
much.
Than a bit.
Where do you go from here? There's talk of traveling around Europe. Have you got any firm plans as yet?
We haven't got any firm plans. We're likely to travel in a few places in Europe, but as yet, no definite plans.
But you've got no plans to go back to the UK for the foreseeable future?
No.
I think that everybody has just been incredibly impressed with you as a couple and how you've dealt with this. There was a period after a week or so where you looked as if you were almost broken, and who could not understand that? And then there seemed to be a sort of a strength come from somewhere. Is that a fair point? Is that what happened, and what brought that about?
I think that's definitely true, isn't it?
Certainly, at the end.
I think that's definitely true. I think definitely. Really? I think it's definitely true. Well, you don't think, then it's a fact, isn't it? You should just say that is definitely true.
They speak quite vague in vague terms. They speak in really vague terms. So they want you leaving. They want to leave you guessing.
Yeah, you would have said, because she's like, I think, oh, that's definitely, it's weird. Otherwise, you'll be saying it more fluently, going, I think that is definitely true. But she doesn't say it like that. Let's rewind it so we can have a giggle at her. Silly moo.
You looked as if you were almost broken, and who could not
and she
understand
looks at Gerry.
that. And then there seemed to be a sort of strength come from somewhere. Is that a fair point? Is that what happened, and what brought that about?
I think that's definitely true, isn't it?
Certainly, you know, at the end of that first week, there was so much emotion that we had spent, and we actually had a period where we discussed this openly, that we felt completely devoid of emotion. And the analogy that I like to use is a bit like when we were students and you got to your overdraft limit and you'd gone beyond it and there was just nothing left in the tank.
What?
My kid's gone missing. It's like when you got an overdraft and you hit your limit, mate.
I don't think of any time when my child has been missing. Hypothetically, if my child were to go missing, I think back to the days when I was kicked in the back teeth with overdraft as a student. Who the fuck says that?
Yeah, you know, it's like having a credit card and you go, oh my God, it's maxed out. It's like, that's just like, you know, when you go, oh, my daughter's missing. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I've gone over the limit. My overdraft is just gone bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my daughter's
Couldn't believe
missing,
it.
You know?
Yeah, it's like the day I found out Madeleine had been missing.
What a terrible day. I've had a terrible week of overdraft.
As soon as Kate came running back. It's like as soon as Kate came running back from the apartment, leaving the two kids in the apartment, but she came running back on her own to the restaurant and said they have taken her. Madeleine's missing. I was like, do you know what? My credit card's the limit.
My credit card.
Oh my God! You know what? You just made me feel like you know when you got a credit card. Oh my God, mate! Oh, is it maxed out?
Think
is it?
back to the day
dear.
when your credit card went overdraft. Like I'm gonna end up in debt or something. Oh man,
that's terrible. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I felt the same when my daughter went missing. I remember that.
Where we discussed this openly, that
they discussed it openly, mate. So that they're bang on the idea that it's like.
Mate, my credit card's gone overdraft. I hope it doesn't happen to my other credit cards. You know, I've got 2 other credit cards. Thank God my other 2 credit cards haven't gone overdraft.
Cool. Do you know, if that happened to all the other credit cards, that would have felt like it was Madeleine gone missing, and then they come back and took Sean and Amelie. It'd be like 3 of them. I'll be like, no, man, that's just like 3 credit cards. It's like the worst case scenario. It could have been worse. I could have took out a 4th credit card, but I'm getting stronger. It's absolutely bonkers what this bloke says.
I felt completely devoid of emotion. And the analogy that I like to use is a bit like when we were students and you got to your overdraft limit and you'd gone beyond it and there was just nothing left in the tank. Also.
Oh my God. Well, the analogy I like to use is when you're in financial debt, it's like losing your daughter. You absolute prat. That, oh my God, that.
One detail deception detective talked about was the use of words. So when he said at the end of that sentence, it was as if nothing was left inside of the tank. That word tank could mean something.
Yeah,
as if definitely. Is it a tank that they left Madeleine in? You know, left the body inside, like a vault or a tank or an underground sort of tank. What kind of tank? A water tank, gas tank, where they could have hidden the body.
Yeah,
those kinds of words. Yeah,
yeah. There's more clues in them than what you'd realise. Yeah. So well spotted, mate. Well spotted.
I think physically and mentally were shattered. But
I do apologise.
Why are you?
I can't believe it.
Wow.
Your daughter's gone missing and you're
You're
shattered.
shattered.
I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so sorry for your feeling of being shattered. You
And
absolutely
look at Kate.
dingbat.
She hasn't even broken down once. Like she's just
Nope.
just sits there like calmly, just like
But
just pure melancholy.
you would have,
Just pure
your face would have
sullen
contorted,
silence.
mate. When he said, "Oh, you know," the analogy I like to use is like, you know, when you're a student, she should have turned around and gone, "What? What are you on
She would have
about,
stood
mate?"
up and got out of the room. But like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
on about, Gerry? I'm starting to
Yeah,
suspect you,
daughter's
Gerry.
gone missing. And
I had nothing
you
to
think
do
a
with
Barclay card? Yeah, it's just, oh, mate. I see things like this, it bugs me because, like, to think because you know they're living their lives, they've got away with whatever happened. That bugs me, and then when you watch things like this, it really smashes it
Us
home.
gradually get more on an even keel. We started to get back into the black, and we'd also
There you go, evening keel. Is that a boat?
worked tirelessly behind the scenes to put support mechanisms in place, including our legal team, the response with the fund, which was really driven by offers rather than us thinking that we needed it. And once these were in place, then it helped us to focus on what we really needed to focus on.
Well, everyone who's watching, who's been following Madeleine's case over the past 3 weeks, just wishes you all the best. Thanks very much, Gerry. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
There you go. That's that one. But that's that one, geez. But let's get the
Absolute
other one.
liars. Such
That's
liars.
just,
You see it through
it
their
bugs
eyes.
me.
Wow, it's disturbing. It's really disturbing.
Yep. Oh, there's a short one. There's only 39 seconds. This one is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Let's add it to screen. Add it to screen. Share screen. Make sure it's nice and big. Yeah, it's only a short one, isn't it? But
Did you kill your daughter?
No, that's an emphatic no. I mean, the ludicrous thing is...
watch his eyebrows. Let's go back. Watch his eyes.
No, play it in full. Play it in full.
No, that's an emphatic no. I mean, the ludicrous thing is what's been purported from Portugal is that Madeleine died in the apartment by an accident and we hid her body. Well, when did she have the accident and died? Because the only time she was left unattended was when we were at dinner. So if she died then, how could we have disposed or hidden her body, you know, when there was an immediate threat? It's just nonsense. So, and if she died when we were in the apartment or fell and did, why would we cover that up?
That's a really odd reaction, isn't it?
Yep.
I would have
It's
been
gotta be
outraged if my daughter was missing or kidnapped and someone accused me of murdering my child. I would have been outraged. I would flip the tables, just let out my tantrum and all my anger and everything, and just cursed at the reporter, just went full rage mode. Someone accusing me of killing my own daughter.
Yeah.
His response was just calm. It was just, no, that's an emphatic no.
Sorry. Oh, wow.
Emphatic, doesn't sound very emphatic to me.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's how some of these people think. I don't know if that's. Let me just. I want to check that the. I added the volume to it. I don't think I did. Can't listen to a silent video, can we? But make it nice and big. But yeah, it's just the whole way he spoke there and that literally got asked outright, and it just seems so dodgy. But this is a news thing. It's only a couple of minutes, but I think this is when they use the clothing, hold the clothing up. Oh, I actually took it off instead of pressing play. What an idiot!
How do you deal with the fact that more and more people seem to be pointing the finger at you, saying the way you behave is not the way people would normally behave if their child is abducted, and they seem to imply that you might have something to do with it?
To be honest, I don't actually think that is the case. I think that's a very...
How is that not the case? How is that not the case? And Joe didn't like it because all of a sudden he got an itch and had to have a little scratch under his chest. What planet is she on to think that is not the case?
Minority of people that are criticising us. You know, the facts are out there. We were dining very close to the children and we were checking on them very, very regularly. You know, we are very responsible parents and we love our children so much. I think there are very few people that are actually criticising us.
Not everyone.
I have never heard before that anyone considers us suspects in this.
Really? Even the Portuguese police have your suspects. Until this day, they have not been cleared by the Portuguese police.
And the Portuguese police certainly don't. And
yeah, they do. You're called aguidos. That means you are suspects, my friend.
Without getting into too much detail about the circumstances, we were with a large group of people, and you know there is absolutely no way Kate and I are involved in this abduction.
These are actually Amelie's pajamas. They're the same, but obviously they're smaller. The top is a pink top, and it has the character Eeyore on and short sleeves. And the bottoms, as you can see, are white with a small floral pattern and Eeyore again on the bottom right of the leg. So these are actually, apart from the size and the button at the back, which Madeleine's doesn't have, these are actually the pajamas that Madeleine was wearing when she was taken.
And everything we have done has been by taking counsel from experts around us, but we were advised that generally raising awareness of a disappearance will help in the search for that person. It helped Kate and I, and we have taken strength, not just from the people who supported it, but we have taken strength ourselves by being active in the search. And I think, you know, if we had, for example, stayed indoors, locked ourselves away, waited and waited, and we would be shells of the people we are.
I can't even believe what I'm hearing.
He even said,
it's just a whole load of word salad. That's it.
After the clothing, I think it was this bit.
By taking counsel from experts around us, but we were advised generally raising awareness of a disappearance will help in the search for that person.
I wouldn't have said that. That person, I would have said, would help for finding Madeleine. That's what it's about, Madeleine.
Yeah, you see how he distanced himself from Madeleine. Like he talks about Madeleine as if she's part of the case. She's just a, you know, the victim. Like you couldn't even tell if that this was Madeleine's father. I couldn't tell if I knew nothing about Madeleine McCann. This was the first time I've ever heard about this case. I wouldn't even have guessed that that was her dad. The way that she's, the way that he's talking.
100%, 100%. But this is about the interview was in May 2008.
So just keep commenting. I have to take the sausages out of the oven. Yeah, just look at the chat for a sec.
What's going on in the chat, geez? What's going on in the chat? So yeah, I bet you're all agreeing with us. So I did see Jake in there. I didn't know if Jake would want to come up and have a talk with us while we're doing this as well. But yeah, what we got? It's shocking. How can a parent even say that when your child goes missing? I'm surprised he didn't say I've had a similar experience regularly, and that's where I can't find my car keys. Yeah, but you listen while busy. Obviously, happy days, mate. Good to have you here. Did you call your daughter? Why did he smile? Yeah, it's a weird thing because maybe it's good. Maybe their actions led to her death, but they didn't actually killed her because it was an accident, probably in the apartment, which is more than likely. Maybe, I don't know, but you must be living a dream there, mate. You got chicken, you got sausages. What's going on?
Yeah, it's my week prep, my weekly meal prep.
Oh, very good, very good.
I can tell you these two are silly sausages. Absolute silly sausages. They're bad liars. They're really bad liars. They can't lie their way out of any case, out of any inquiry.
Nope. Right, this is 3 minutes 6 seconds. I'll try and let this one just play through, and then we can go back and pick on it.
They admitted that they almost didn't come for the interview. But Kate and Gerry McCann steeled themselves in what they said was a really tough week for them. The anniversary of Madeleine's disappearance, then another chance in a series of media interviews to hide the need to keep looking for her.
And we need everybody's help really to find her. And so I'd like to say to people, particularly if they're going abroad in the summer, just keep your eyes open, just remember that she's still missing and she needs and wants to be found.
We wouldn't be here this week doing media if it wasn't for the fact that we're appealing for information to come forward. And that's the key thing, people, everyone involved's got to admit there's a little girl who's missing, and we're a real family affected by the traumatized. So
the couple believe Madeleine's case has been iconic, raising awareness of all missing children. But some of the media coverage has angered them.
It's not right that there should be stuff written every day when there's not the facts to sustain it. We need to get people focused on the facts and what is out there. And there's been far too much innuendo, speculation, myth, rumour and lie.
The documentary that you did this week, it's shown that perhaps a new side of you, especially Kate, quite emotional at times. How much did you want that sort of emotion earlier?
Mike, it's not a new side of me. People make judgments. I
think there's two things, isn't it? There's a public persona, and then there's your real life. As Brits, we're pretty simple, and that stiff upper lip type thing. And the other thing for all of our media people, particularly, we had to really build ourselves to go up and do it. And then we had the added situation of, we did the direct appeal, don't show too much emotion.
6 months after Madeleine disappeared, the couple attended church service in Rothley. Another service is planned for tomorrow, a year since she went missing.
Whatever, really quite a private day. It's difficult because it's one of those days I just don't know where you feel really, and I don't know until the actual day really. And I think everybody appreciates that, and certainly the village does. So service, but depends on how we.
The hotline for people in contact with information. The couple now head with their own investigation led by their own detectives, and they say they must be allowed the time for their own lives. Mike O'Sullivan, East Midday.
It's just very odd.
Nothing they say ever adds up, does it? It's really weird.
The way Gerry describes Madeleine as a little girl who's gone missing, just a little girl.
Yeah.
It's not our daughter. It's not little Madeleine. Just a little girl.
Just don't know when we're going to feel best, mate. That's what it is, Don't know when we're going to feel best. Might be in the morning, might be the afternoon, might be evening.
Phil says, "Wizard, stop streaming in potato quality." Mate, the quality.
That's because it's 10-year-old footage, man. They filmed it with a potato. This is literally, we're playing What's Up, and it's like 10, 15 years old or whatever. So,
I can tell you, Gerry's a fucking potato. The way he explains himself.
Yeah,
they're just stupid. They're really bad liars, like really bad liars. Just can't believe it.
Just put the link up for Jake as well. He's in the chat, so he's a very intelligent man. He used to teach English and that, so he's probably very good with words and that. The only video I've got left is one actual Sonia Poulton talking with Andrew Gold, with where Sonia says what she thinks, but obviously we can play pause as and when she says whatever, and we can discuss that. So I think it's about 10 minutes, wasn't it? Yeah, 10 minutes. But we'll have wait for Jake to come up and whatnot. But okay, Wiz, let you off. Yeah, it wasn't me on a potato. It bugs me because even Mo said earlier, because said like the face and that's all a bit weird and that, and it makes it hard for micro expressions because you need to be able to see like the bits in the eyes, you need to see like the nostrils and nose, see if it comes up, and tiny little twitches of the mouth. That's what you need to see. And yeah, that sort of footage makes it really hard, hence why I didn't go into too much detail. But their words themselves had me and Mo on the floor laughing our head off, because we're thinking like, you know, it's exactly like going overdrawn on your credit card, you know, your daughter missing. Couldn't believe it. You're like, oh mate, my daughter's missing. No, my credit card's over. What? Oh, she's missing. Okay. It's
I better top up my bank account, mate. Hey Jake.
Hey, how you doing, Jake? Good.
Thanks for inviting me on. Interesting discussion so far. Definitely something I missed. I've always thought, I don't know about you two, but it looks very much to me like Gerry, the one calling all of the shots here. Kate seems very much in his shadow. She seems very subservient to him.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever happened there, we'll probably never know, but it certainly seems like he's behind it. It's really, I think, quite...
Like, you can tell from the body language, the way that Kate keeps holding on to Jerry's hand, but Gerry... He isn't really like this, you know. He doesn't. He's very rigid. He's very rigid. He's very just grounded, as if he already knows what's happened. Very odd.
Almost defensively grounded, like he's got his feet planted firmly there, ready for, you know, to stave off any attack. And it's also disturbing, like you mentioned, how he says things like "a little girl" with "my daughter," which is what you would expect.
Yeah.
Really peculiar behaviour, and I mean, who knows what really happened.
Yep. And that last I think it was a news one, you know, when they put the clothing up and that, at the beginning you could see like they were holding hands, but his hand was over and her arm was under, and he was keeping it like shielded, as if like holding, like, you know, I'm keeping you back from saying something or whatever. And in that interview she does look at him before she speaks, as if like, I've got permission, but it's like he's shielding her as if to control her and say like, don't say too much. I don't know, it just seems a bit odd.
He would say, of course, though, no, I'm just being supportive.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
He's a crafty, crafty devil.
Yeah, there's like,
and a lot of the statements that they make, they sound very scripted. I see a lack of ums and ahs and filler words, and you know, especially when you're at the peak of, you know, emotion, especially negative emotion, or, you know, you're feeling all sorts of feelings and emotions. You should be kind of, it would be understandable that you'd be stuttering, or you'd be at a loss of words.
You're exactly right, man. Exactly right.
Well,
in fact,
I mean, at moments, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, if you were to transcribe a conversation, an ordinary conversation, you're exactly right. You would see that it is absolutely filled with filler. And if you were to read it aloud, it's actually quite painful to have to put in all of these pauses and these ums and these ahs and these changes in direction that sentences go in. But if you were to transcribe what they said in those interviews, it would look like an ordinary paragraph, because it's got all the punctuation in the right place. It doesn't have the fillers. It doesn't have the ums and the ahs. And that suggests to me, like I was quite rightly saying, this is a script that they're remembering rather than an event that actually happened, that they're emotionally invested in. Unless they're so disturbed and so dissociated by it that that emotion completely passes them by, which I think is highly unlikely.
No, it hardly ever happens. Hardly ever happens.
Well, I don't get how, like, because even as a man, you know, the camera's on you, you'll be trying to talk about it, you're going to be crying, and at some point you'll be like, oh, I can't do this or whatever. It'd just be so traumatic. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, it's absolutely harrowing. And he's like, oh, but it's like when you're a student and your credit cards are in debt.
Yeah.
You what?
It's almost like it's just an annoyance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, oh, that's a bit inconvenient. I'm skint. What? My daughter's missing. Oh, it feels like being skint, mate.
Could I have a chat with my Lloyd's Bank advisor or my accountant or something?
Why would you your daughter? Why would you do that? I think of anyone that would leave their daughter and go out to eat with other people. It just defies belief.
I mean, in that there was an era where you would go on holiday and you were in your apartments. Your parents would go down and hit the pub or whatever at the hotel, and that there was an era where kids were safe, and it was deemed to be like the norm. Not saying it's right, but it was deemed to see the norm. But these kids are seriously young. Do you know what I mean? Like, if my parents, I think it was on holiday, I was about 14, 15. I wasn't like 4. That's just ridiculous. They could be screaming their head off, crying for hours.
If they were 14 years old, I mean, I'd probably leave them alone. It'd be okay. But not when you're 4. Yeah. Not when you're, the twins were like, 3 years old. Right.
At 14, you're at secondary school, you're responsible. You're not obviously an adult, but you are a young adult, I would say, at that point. And you're capable of looking after yourself. If you're 4 or below, of course you're not. It's ludicrous to leave them, and that's why I think, as many people in the chat were pointing out earlier, there is that suggestion that perhaps there was some medication that was used to send the children to sleep, or at least one of them to sleep. Maybe they overdid it with the medication, and that's what happened. I mean, you can speculate, but we don't really know. I mean, there is of course another theory that perhaps she'd been medicated and then fell off a bed or or something like that and broke her neck, or had a head injury, something like that. Yep. They're both possible. And let's be honest, they make more sense than the story that we're being told by the McCanns.
Yeah, basically.
The theory does go on in a cycle. Yeah, a lot of people describe the same kind of sequence of events. She may have been overdosed with sleeping medication to help her sleep better, and then obviously she passed out, hit her head thumped it against the cupboard. There was blood, and they had to find a way to hide the body, and that's why the dogs were able to sniff out blood. There were 2 dogs. There was one that was sniffing blood, and the other was a cadaver dog, and both dogs responded. And dogs don't lie; they don't make mistakes.
No, dogs don't lie. They don't lie, and there was also they noticed it in the boot of a car as well. I seem to recall. So Gerry said earlier, when would they have done it? You know, it's quite obvious when they would have done it. They would have done it that night. They would have hidden the body somewhere in the flat and taken it somewhere that night.
Yeah, and there is, I think it's the Smiths who, given a statement, said that there's someone they saw walking down to the beach carrying a young girl, and it looked like Gerry. But nothing was done about that. But I've got I've got 2 videos saved where it's just the intro bit. Gerry says something. I can then jump to the PJ files. I'll show you a photo, and you can literally see that that Kate is lying. So remind me, and I'll show that, because she literally says something, and I'm like, wow, look at this photo. It's not possible. But this is Sonia Poulton. She appeared on Andrew Gold about 2 years ago. This was, but as far as I know,
his hand. Once you see it, you'll not notice it.
He's sort of like the man that's probably never done anything. He gets a manicure. He's not what you call a man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's got really tiny little hands.
He hasn't he? But it's 10 minutes. So yeah, if you hear something and you want to comment, just say stop.
You've done a lot of work as well while we're talking about the establishment of Madeleine McCann. So, and you were right there from the beginning on that story. So tell me, I mean, again, very briefly, some people know who Madeleine McCann is.
Madeleine Beth McCann was a 3-year-old child who went missing while on holiday in 2007 in Portugal. Her family and their friends had gone there for a May holiday. There were 9 adults, a bunch of toddlers, Madeleine and her twins, twin brother and sister. She wasn't the twin, she was the oldest of them, and reported missing on May the 3rd, 2007. And I always say reported missing because we don't know that was exactly when she went missing. And so the case of Madeleine is actually the world's most famous missing child. I believe that that is one of the biggest contemporary covers-up that we have to do with the British establishment. We have range, which is the British Police investigation by the Metropolitan Police. We're up to about £14 million now that the British taxpayers have funded for a crime that didn't even happen in this country. We think that roughly one child goes missing every 5 years. Obviously, many of them return, but that is the statistics of how many children go. So why did this child stand out? Why? Within hours of his disappearance was the Daily Telegraph reporting on it. It was on Breakfast TV in the UK. Why? What was it that McCann apart? We know that Gerry McCann's father had done some work for the government. Her parents were doctors. Her mother was an anaesthetist. Her father was a heart surgeon. There were 9 adults in the group. I think 6 or 7 were doctors. They said they were all leaving their children at night. Well, they went to the tapas bar on site. I've been to the scene of crime twice. Gerry McCann has described it as, because obviously they were accused, quite rightly, in my opinion, of child neglect. And Gerry McCann said it was no different to them being sat out in their garden in summer. Well, I can assure you I've been to both their home and the scene of crime, and it is completely different. The distance between the tapas bar and apartment 5A, where Madeleine was reported missing from, is immense. I've walked it. It takes a good 6 minutes walk to go around the back of it. I mean, you could probably do 2 or 3 if you're walking fast, but if you but it's far enough. So the idea was that they were going back to check these children every 15 to 20 minutes, which is highly debatable. And then when Kate went in at 10 o'clock, that was when she discovered that Madeleine had disappeared. And rather than gather up her twin children who were still there, she ran back to the tapas bar, which immediately alarmed me as a mother, because it's like, so one of your children's been missing, you believe it's been taken by some predator who's come in the window and gone out the window, and you leave your remaining 2 children there? That's really odd. And then the people had said that she said things like they've taken.
Because there's some important details, I think, in there that are worth going over again. I know you've been over them. The first thing that's worth mentioning, I'm not sure if you mentioned this bit or not, actually. Madeleine was described as like a miracle baby. She was, they'd had IVF to conceive her for years and years. This wasn't just an ordinary child. This was something that someone that they believed was exceptional. And so to leave them that distance is quite shocking, really. I mean, 2 or 3 minutes, it doesn't sound very far, but if you actually time how far you can walk in 2 or 3 minutes, if you do it quick enough, you can probably do at least a quarter of a mile in that time. That's quite a way. That's not a short distance, is it?
Yeah.
It's
certainly
much further
not behind your back garden.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not talking your back garden. We're literally talking the next street over. So there's our first thing that we have to consider is if you've got a child that you've had to go through all of this difficulty and trauma in conceiving, why would you then leave them that distance away? Then you've got the second point that's worth mentioning that Sonia was just saying. Why would you then leave the other 2 kids there to go back to the tapas bar to go and find your husband? Surely the first thing you would do is call the police, I would imagine. And scream your head off, and you would do everything you could to make sure those other 2 kids were protected and sheltered and looked after. And the last thing you would do is want to leave them. And more to the point, what would make her immediately insist that the girl had been taken? What made her think that? And why would someone who was going to take them just take one child, as you mentioned earlier, if there are 3 of them? That doesn't make any sense. Unless they were disturbed, but even so, it doesn't really make much sense. So at that point alone, there are a number of question marks that have to be asked. And they don't look good for them.
Yeah. I mean, if I was Kate, my first instinct would be to look out the window, not to bolt out the door and leave the children behind, the twins behind. Like, your dear Madeleine's just been kidnapped, right? Surely you want to safeguard your other twin children.
And you'd be yelling and screaming for
search the apartment.
Yeah,
you would. Yeah. You'd
And
be like,
before
quick,
then,
look
she-
in this room, that
she
room,
just-
this room, that room.
She just made the immediate assumption that she was kidnapped because the window was open, allegedly open, right? Maybe she's gone into the bathroom. Maybe she's hiding under the bed. Maybe she's playing hide and seek, or she's
maybe she's somewhere on the resort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She made none of
that's
those
a good
assumptions.
point. Yeah, you would check everywhere first, wouldn't you, before you leapt to that conclusion?
Yeah.
Like, the three of us aren't even women. We're not even mothers, but we
No.
understand that's the motherly instinct to do. Okay, I mean, come on. Ask any
Yeah,
mother.
no,
they
it's
would do the
true.
same.
I mean, I don't have children, but I do have two nieces. I do have a nephew, and I taught enough kids to understand to a degree what that would be like. You know, I can empathise with that, and there's no way that I would be leaving a child like. There's no way that I would have reacted like that. For example, if it were one of my nieces or someone in my form, you'd be absolutely in a complete and utter panic. So the behaviours here don't really make sense. Let's see what Gerry does then once he gets involved.
Taken her, so that sounded like they knew who it was. There was a great deal of control. Taken children there, that's really odd. And then the people had said that she'd said things like they've taken her, so that sounded like they knew who it was. There was a great deal of controversy about it. The Portuguese police absolutely believed, and eventually it was archived. They made Kate and Gerry McCann arguido, which is official suspect in Portugal, and they actually believed that Madeleine died in the apartment and that there was a faked abduction. And what happened was, within hours, the British Prime Minister was involved in the case. Tony Blair was the Prime Minister at the time. Who has conversations with parents of missing children when they're prime ministers? Both Tony Blair was involved and Gordon Brown, who replaced Tony Blair in about a month and a half. He was due to take over, and that's when he took over. And I am in no doubt whatsoever that the continuation of one prime minister and one home secretary after another refunding Operation Grange is simply to stop the truth coming out. At the start of Operation Grange, which was around 2013, 2014, the investigating officer announced at the start of the investigation that neither the parents or the friends who were there were part of the investigation. Now, as somebody who's worked extensively with the forensic examiners and people involved with child abduction, the first place you look is the adults who were there or who know the child. That is absolutely the first place. For the British investigation to rule them out from the get-go was absolutely outrageous. So I'm in no doubt. And the reason people are fascinated by the Madeleine McCann story, because on our gut instinct, we know it doesn't add up. These are doctors. What were they doing apparently leaving children alone? And bear this in mind. They have to say, this is a theory that some people have. They have to say they were leaving the children alone. Otherwise, abduction wouldn't have been possible. So is it possible that something happened to Madeleine that was then covered up?
Shall I do some devil's advocating?
Go for it.
As somebody who doesn't know very much about the
because I think that's really good, the way that she summarised what happened at that point. First thing that's really, really worth noting, the Portuguese police were under no illusion as to what happened, were they? But it's pretty clear. Fake abduction, something happened regarding the parent. So that's the first thing we've got to bear in mind. That's the original investigation report. Then you've got the things that are unusual. Why are two prime ministers back to back getting involved in this? There's some serious question marks. It is unheard of. What the fuck has it got to do with them? Some kid has gone missing in Portugal. You never normally hear anything like that. So what stake have they got in this case is, I think, what we'd have to ask there. Why would they be involved? What relation does this case have to them? And there doesn't appear on the surface to be one. So is it perhaps somebody who's in the group that they're with is close to them? That I don't know, but that's something that I think can't be ruled out. Or perhaps maybe one of the McCanns is close to that circle in some way that we don't know.
Yeah.
What is interesting is the amount of money that comes in afterwards. I mean, that could possibly be a way of funneling some funds through charities. That's a possibility. I don't know. But all of the signs here seem really, really odd. It's like I say, we've got the police have said, right, this is what we think happened. Then we've got the Prime Ministers get involved. And then, as Sonia rightly said, the British then come in and they do something that's completely against protocol, which is they think the people who were closest to them weren't involved, we'll dismiss them straight away, even though it's standard practice that you go to them first. So when she said that people think that something's not right here, well, I wonder why. Nothing is right about this. Every single step of it is suspicious.
Yeah, and what about the friends of the McCanns? I mean, they, as you said, they've been ruled out of the British investigation from the start. That's obviously a big question. Why? You probably want to ask the friends. They know Madeleine personally. They know the McCanns. They have information that you'd probably be desperate to hear about if you're actually searching for Madeleine. You committed to the investigation. But then what's also funny is that the friends of the McCanns, that group, that entire group that was dining at that seafood restaurant that night, what involvement do they have in this? Do they know about the abduction, the planned abduction? Are they playing the same game as the McCanns? You know, are they hiding something? Do they know something? That are there any beans left in the tin that they should be spilling out, but they're not willing to? You know, well then, if you want to play devil's advocate, if you have to play devil's advocate, you can say that it's very, very hard to hide a lie amongst a group of people. You know, if it was, if it was truthful that she was genuinely abducted, well then there's no reason for any one of the group to lie about it. You know, these, like when you go through years and decades of lying and concealing something that happened, like an event, it's very hard for a group of people to conceal that truth. Like sometime, somewhere, someplace, someone will slip a small little detail and it all just blows up. Like the E-files, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say the full name. The E-files or various scandals across the globe. We see this happen. You know, it's very hard for a group of people to hide something and continue doing so. So to play devil's advocate, that's very questionable.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that what's possible. I mean, again, this is all speculation. Obviously, none of us know what happened, as we keep saying, it's speculation. That it's just, how can I put it? It's just so far beyond what is expected that it defies belief that this story was actually taken seriously. What I think is possible is that maybe Kate went back there, she saw a window open, she couldn't find the girl, maybe the girl had died, I don't know, she panicked. The first thing that came into her head when she got back to tell everyone was she's been abducted, because she didn't want to say what had really happened, or someone's taken her, something like that. It's plausible that she might have said that the first thing that came into her head as a way to get out of it. I mean, I don't know. But it just doesn't add up at all, anything about this. And I completely agree with Mo. Somebody would have said something. Any group, somebody always does eventually. And that's why when you have conspiracy theories and things like that, one of the telling things about them is, has anybody come forward and said it isn't true? And we haven't had that here. So the big question is, why are they lying? But also a second question is, well, why are the British government involved in what looks like a cover-up? And
especially with the Prime Ministers being involved. Like, this is one child we're talking about. It's not a group of children. You know, I'm not to trivialize the disappearance of Madeleine. Like, obviously that's tragic, and it should make anyone's blood boil. But you know, you're a prime minister of a country. Your duty is for the country, not for one single girl. why the involvement. It's very strange. Maybe the McCanns are part of the Fabian Society.
Could be, but they didn't show this anywhere near the same level of commitment to when that young lad Ben Needham went missing from the Greek island. Nothing near the attention that this case has got. And there have been a lot of people who have said, is it just because she had blonde hair and she was from a middle-class family? Well, it's possible. Certainly at the same time, you had the Shannon Matthews case, which I'm sure you remember, where there was a fake abduction and she was found under the bed at her uncle's house a week later or something, and the mother was then imprisoned. So there are people that will do things for publicity, but I've never really been convinced that it's a class. I don't think that it is just because they are doctors. I think that there's something else that's there, and I don't know, perhaps Sonia will tell us.
Let's find out.
Case, admittedly. But firstly, I mean, people did leave their kids a bit more than, now
oh, yes, so much. Very middle class thing to do.
Was it? Yes.
It's a middle class thing
to do. And they were middle class. A lot of press they got was because they were middle class doctors and things.
Yes.
And, as awful as that is, that's people are more interested, or the newspapers are more interested. And she was also particularly cute or whatever as a kid. She had a thing in her eye that made her quite identifiable, so it captured the imagination.
Yeah.
Holidays and things, it's like in the newspapers, it is a big deal when people are on holidays. There's even stories about airports and planes get like top billing now in newspapers. People love holiday stories.
Yes.
And then the other issue is, and I found this with Amanda Knox as well. I interviewed Amanda Knox, who was the woman accused.
I know Amanda Knox. Never interviewed her.
I'm just saying for in case people don't.
I must check that out.
Yeah, I interviewed her. That was a while ago. And also I was on her podcast as well to talk about various things. So that was great fun. And she's lovely. Or is she? So
is she? Right.
But this is the thing with Amanda Knox. I sided with her, but obviously I wasn't there. I don't know enough about it. But the way I'm thinking right now is I would rather, because she's not out there like doing repeated, murdering, I would rather side with caution, I suppose, than, because if she did go to prison for 4 years for something that Amanda Knox did not do, that is a horror beyond anything I will ever have to experience. So to then start commenting on YouTube, you're a murderer, and all these things, I have to be damn sure. Yes. I have to be damn sure. Otherwise, I can just shut up, and that's not hurting anyone.
Yes.
And I felt with Madeleine, if Madeleine, if there is a cover up, that's awful. But it's not happening. The McCann, I don't know what I'm saying exactly, but the McCanns aren't out there.
Your point.
Yeah,
I completely take your point, and I think a lot of people in the media have felt like that. Although, if you remember, the initial response was much more probing and investigative around the story until there was the huge lawsuit from the McCanns and their friends, and the Daily Express were forced to do an unprecedented front page apology, and that completely silenced everybody. Yeah. I am damn sure that Madeleine McCann was not abducted.
Wow. What do you think happened then?
I tend to agree with the Portuguese police. The Portuguese police believed that what was possibly, they believed that she died in the apartment, first of all. Very high-ranking cadaver and blood dogs were sent into the apartment. And these were not regulars. These belonged to Martin Grime, who was a top-of-the-range man from, I think, North Yorkshire Police, who has been used in testimonies in the States, and people have been convicted without bodies being found based on the testimony of him and his work. So it was his dogs that went in. And these dogs, they alerted to blood spats behind the sofa, with a high DNA allele count that was related, it would appear, to Madeleine. There was a problem with the forensic science services. There were problems with the DNA, the issues and everything. But these dogs alerted only in the apartment where Madeleine was reported missing, in a hire car that McCanns hired after Madeleine was reported missing, in the further holiday home that they were moved to when apartment 5A was made a crime scene. Madeleine's cuddly toy and a key fob belonging to the McCanns. These dogs were also sent to the apartments of all the other people who were on the holiday and didn't alert once. So those dogs only alerted in the apartment where Madeleine went missing. And what I think is highly possible that happened, because I will say what the Portuguese police believe. The Portuguese police believe that it's highly likely that when Gerry McCann came in around 9:15 and he went out the apartment and he was having a conversation with a BBC producer outside the window who was also on holiday, And Madeleine woke up possibly in a daze because she might have been having some sort of, I don't know, Calpol or whatever, woke up in a daze, got up on the back of the sofa, looked out of the window, fell off down the back of the sofa, cracked her head open on the stone floor. And that is what is believed happened. And that was the case that was archived by the Portuguese police. And with the archiving of that, Kate and Gerry McCann no longer were arguidos, but Kate and Gerry McCann, and the Supreme Court said this, Kate and Gerry McCann have not been cleared.
So if they had just called the police and said, with just the worst accidents just happened, our kid fell off the sofa.
But who knows how any of us would react in a situation like that? They had their careers, all of them.
That's a really good point there that she's just said. We don't know how any of us would react in that situation. So let's try and stress test that. So let's imagine we're on holiday. We've gone back from having a meal to go and check on our miracle baby that we've left whilst we go out to eat. We've found them. Let's take this as read. You know what's happening here. We found our child dead at home. What would your reaction be to that?
Call an ambulance.
Yeah. Call an ambulance. Absolutely. Yeah. At
So
least call
what-
Gerry. No, I'd call Gerry actually if I had my mobile phone with me.
I'll call the ambulance
Because it's-
first. Then I'll be trying to do something if I could do anything. But while doing that, I could then say possibly call the wife on speakerphone while I'm still trying to do something. So you need to come back quick. There's something wrong.
Yeah, call
So
the
what-
ambulance and then call Gerry after that, and put him on speaker whilst I'm doing CPR.
So both of you are saying you'd be really proactive in what happens. Act immediately. I've seen this problem. You're getting it dealt with.
Yeah, because you never know. Like they got the skills; they could be able to revive her. Even, you know, I was dead for over 3 minutes. So how
Yeah, I
long
mean
was she?
she's
knows?
cracked her head. There's blood spurting out. It doesn't mean she's dead. She could have a pulse. She could be, even her vital signs might not be showing, but she could be alive. You never know. We could just do CPR and just that's my daughter. I want her to be alive. I want her to come back to life. That's my daughter.
But would you think to yourself, shit, I might get in trouble here. Might need to tell a few porkies here to get myself out of trouble.
No, because I haven't
You
done
just
nothing
go
wrong.
straight with the truth.
Yeah. I mean, they could turn around and say, like, you should have been in there. You've been down over there 6 minutes away. Well, so be it. Whatever. But if you could save my daughter, like, oh, yeah, child neglect, whatever. Yeah, shove it up your ass. I don't care. You saved my daughter. So.
Yeah. The priority is exactly what you two are saying. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? Why they would behave.
No, I think they may have attempted to do something. That the thought must have crossed their mind of, should we call an ambulance? Should we call the police? Should we attempt CPR or do this and that? If she had, as Sonia describes, hit her head and her body is lying lifeless, limp on the ground beside the sofa, maybe we can do something to revive her. There's something we can do. This is our daughter. And you'd do anything to save her.
You would. And as a doctor, both of them would know how to do that. They would know what was possible. They'd know what signs are there. One thing that just occurred to me that I hadn't thought of before, though, is if she went back to the hotel and said that she'd been abducted, that would then mean that none of that party would have any reason to go to their apartment. Because why would they go if she isn't there? There's no point going, is there? They'd be going out looking for her elsewhere. So I don't know if maybe they said it to keep people away from there, to give them enough time to deal with it in whatever way they thought was right.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
But something isn't clearly right here.
Yeah, but then it boils down to, like, they sacrificed their daughter, created all this as a mystery, all because they're so far up their own backsides that they want to protect themselves. I mean, how selfish is that? Maybe they injected her with something, maybe they've done this or that, but then it's tough. It's your daughter. You're trying to save her life. But no, these two people are so far up their own backside and so, oh, I'm a doctor, this, that, and everything else. It's about me now. It's not about my daughter. I mean, who'd put what?
Yeah. Well, could it be the case that maybe the cover-up aspect is because either one of them, or maybe one of their acquaintances, is a friend of, or a friend of a friend of somebody who is in a higher position, who's trying to keep them out of trouble? They realise that they could be arrested for at least manslaughter and negligence.
Yeah, but
I mean,
a friend
not,
of a friend.
not impossible.
It could affect their
No.
reputation. Yes, reputation destruction that they're scared of.
So it's about them
possibly.
then. Basically, they twisted it. Don't worry about our child who's now dead, who's a miracle baby. It's now about us and self-preservation. What horrible, horrible parents.
I mean, I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying, is this something that is possible?
Yeah.
It is
Anything's possible. I mean, we are literally speculating. So yeah, anything. It was aliens and it was the Jews.
I think it was both of them. Yeah, their combined effort. And Jewish space lasers. They transported her with those. Apparently,
no, mate, it was the Mossad agents. They went over and kidnapped.
Yep.
Yeah, but they left the twins
out
of coincidence. Just left the twins there. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Thank God the twins weren't taken. Yeah, we've grown a lot stronger.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh.
The vast majority of them were doctors, so
no one would have believed them and said,
right,
hit her.
Right. But there's so much evidence, which probably I have time to go into. But what I would say is to anybody, check out the Portuguese police files, which are online. Look at the testimony of the Smith family, who say on that night, they say around that time where the time that Madeleine was reported missing, they claim that they saw a man carrying a small child going down towards the sea, and they claim that they are 60 to 80% certain that that was Gerry McCann. Wow. And this is the stuff you don't see in the press, but this is the stuff why there's so much about this case, including the fact that Gerry changed his witness statement. He gave a witness statement the day after on the 4th of May, and he gave another one on the 10th, and between those dates, he changed how he accessed the apartment, how he got into the apartment. So it's things like that that are interesting to me, because once you start to get those discrepancies and once they build up, and these aren't just one or two discrepancies in this case, I can go on forever. We could have a 7-hour conversation. I can still be telling you about discrepancies.
There you go.
That is very strange.
Yeah.
Why would you give a different story about how you entered an apartment?
Yeah.
I know how I get in my house. It's quite easy. I could tell you it straight away.
Yep. There's one I need to show you. I want to hopefully show you a clip, and then I'm going to bring up the PJ files, which is where everything is. That's what she's on about, the PJ files. Okay. Make it nice and big, bring it up on screen. So I'm going to show you this, and then I need to jump to the PJ files.
So I went into our bedroom and she wasn't there, and that was the first time really that the panic hit. And I just ran back into her bedroom, and literally at that point, the curtains, which were closed, just kind of flew open. And that was when I noticed that the window was open as far as it could go, and the shutters outside had been raised all the way up.
Right. Bear that in mind. Right. One thing, all the way up. Look.
55.
Literally, they don't go all the way up. But remember what she just said. And I'm going to hopefully...
yeah, window open, shutters right the way up.
Yep. And the curtains blowing away and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the window was agape and there was a breeze. I could feel the breeze coming through, and the wind was blowing the curtains across. We've heard the story millions of times. Yeah.
Right. Basically, these are from, let me show you the top so I'm not hiding anything. This is literally like the evidence. So let me show this. This is where you go for the real juicy, like no messing about. This is it. This is literally all loaded up by the Portuguese police, right? So this is the actual photographs from the crime scene. So we need to have a look. There's the window in question.
Yeah.
Is that blind?
Yes, there is a blind there.
Oh no, there is a blind. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't really see.
Down.
Oh yeah, that's better if you zoom in. Yeah, there is a blind. Yeah.
It looks
Yep.
like it's
There's a
pulled
tiny
down.
little. Yeah, you can't see my cursor, but yeah, they're pulled. I don't know if I can. Oh, I can't zoom in anymore. But they're still literally what 7/8 of the way down, aren't they?
Yeah.
You literally just said that window was open and the blind was all the way up. But
Yeah, you could probably fit a hand through there, maybe.
Yeah, and then if we then go to, there's obviously the thing again. That's the bedroom in question, but I will zoom in on something in a minute. Right, that's the bed that she was in. You can see my cursor there as well. Like that's the bed apparently she was in, whereas this bed over here looks like it was slept in. And what did Kate say about when she ran in the room about the curtains?
Yeah, that they were blowing out the window.
Well, the one on the left is actually behind the bed, and the one on the right is behind a chair. So let's have a look at the window then. Oh, look, it's closed.
Also, actually, if somebody came in through the window, they would have had to have climbed over that bed. They'd have to have walked past both of the twins to get to this bed
without alerting them, without waking them up. That's the key.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, okay, you could say that there might be a bit more to it if she was in this bed close to the window. That might make a bit more sense of that theory, but it just doesn't seem right, does it?
Nope.
That's very
questionable. It doesn't look
Yeah.
disturbed.
What she said there could not have physically happened because the windows are closed and the curtains are tucked behind. And the bed on the far side looks slept in, but the bed on the near side is what they're claiming that she slept in.
Or is that the curtain on the bed?
No, if you look here and then up, that's the actual cover. Because if you look at this cover here, look, it's near enough the same as the curtain.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the window's closed. You can see, I'm doing my cursor, but you can't really see it. But so,
yeah,
with what she just claimed there, and that's the bed she slept in. Does that look like a 4-year-old slept in that?
No.
And there it is. You can see it even better. Like that's the actual duvet. There's your curtain. The window's closed. The blinds on the outside is only up a smidge. And there's a chair that's literally on that curtain there on the right. So how did those curtains blow?
Yeah.
Trying to lie about a certain narrative. Look, and they even took another photo.
Yeah, well, maybe Kate discovered when she entered into the apartment, she discovered that it was open, and then she closed the windows mysteriously. But why? Why would you do that?
And then quickly
What's
put the chair in front of that curtain, put the bed, made sure that curtain is behind the bed.
Yeah.
No way those curtains can blow. No way. You can even see it there with the.
And that window, I was just trying to look at. Does it open up, or does it? Do you put it up, or do you push it outward?
This window, you can see the.
Yeah.
Can't you? It looks like the one when you maybe click it and then slide it over. But don't hold me to that. Obviously, I don't know. But it might be an openy. And if you open it and push it outwards, you can't because the blind.
I'm just trying to think. Could you open that window enough to be able to get out with a child?
No, basically.
You do quite a lot, quite a gap.
Because it opens upwards. It opens upwards and downwards.
Oh, it does open upwards. Okay. Yeah, so you probably would be able to do that then.
The blind opens
but
upwards.
it's so much.
But the actual
Yeah, but it's so much
windows-
harder with those kinds of window doors. If they open like both ways, as in the ones that open like a cupboard, it's so much easier to abduct a child. with those doors. But with this open and shut one, it's harder to fit, especially Madeleine, her being the bigger child, physically, you know, in size. It's a bit tricky to get us through without making a noise, by the way.
The blind is down.
Exactly. Like, you have to go through all of these obstacles to silently abduct a child without making a noise, without alerting anyone in the area and leading to suspicion.
That's her lounge.
Something doesn't add up. Something does not add up.
Nope.
Yeah, like with a burglar, I suppose you go for what is the easiest option that's there with the least chance of getting caught.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in order for this to have happened, someone's going to have come up those steps, I presume, without being seen. Then they've got to get in and then get out without being seen.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, so you'd have to get up. So it's got like a kind of little courtyard thing outside it then with some steps. And I presume that at the bottom of those steps is a car park or a pathway leading to this restaurant, something like that.
That's the main street, yeah. The main street. But I think there is a photo like we see on the outside. There you can see, like, there's the door on the left.
Oh yeah.
Like you can see, like, there's the floor on the right. So
the steps would be further over this way a bit.
The steps would be further over to the right of this photo, which means if you go down there, you'll be walking away from the bar. Whereas if you went the other way and out the patio door to the left of this photo, you'll go towards the tapas bar. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I'm just trying to think what that road at the bottom would be like to see whether or not it's particularly visible, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Let me see if I what I don't know if come up on
And if they've stolen a child, where are they going to take it? Have they got a vehicle waiting? Have they got a location where they're going to take it to?
Yeah, you have to analyze those sequence of events. You know, how many people was involved in the abduction? Was there a vehicle waiting there?
Was it planned? Was it spontaneous? Had somebody been watching every single day and noticed a pattern of events? Maybe there were more people involved.
Why was it only Madeleine? Why was it only Madeleine that was abducted? You know, if it's not very, as I said, it's not very profitable just to take one child, going through all that hassle, going through that window, trying to make as little noise as you can, ignoring the twins, just leave the twins there. Just,
well,
you know,
I mean, just looking at that picture just there, wouldn't it be easy to try and get in through the door?
No.
That window, I don't know, to go through that and then go all the way across the room and then all the way back out again, to walk along that veranda, down those steps, down that road without being seen by anyone.
And and the steps as well. The steps are quite well lit up. I mean, most steps are very well lit up anyways.
And also, actually, I hadn't thought of this, but you would imagine that a child being abducted would probably be quite frightened and probably calling in distress for something, probably for their parents. So they'd be involved. Well, they'd have to be keeping them quiet too.
Yeah,
unless they did have a vehicle there. You know, perhaps at the bottom of the stairs there was a vehicle. If we're going to play devil's advocate about it.
Yeah, I'm really curious what the twins have to say. I mean, they're a lot older now. It's been like, what, 20 years already, 19 years. You know, I'd like to hear what they have to say. Did they hear anything? Did they suspect anything when they were sleeping in that room? Did they hear any noises or squeaks or anything? You know, if there was a child abductor You know, what did you see? What did you witness that night?
Law is always about what is reasonable, isn't it? It's what's within reasonable doubt. And as it's been established here, usually the first place you go to is the people that are closest or the people that were there last. They're the most obvious suspects. And in this case, can those parents be ruled out beyond all reasonable doubt? And I don't think they can. I think there are reasonable doubts there.
If you're a police constable or you're part of the investigation, you'd probably hold them as suspects, as rightfully so. The Portuguese police still haven't cleared their names because there's no evidence to the contrary. That's all. That's all it is. There's no evidence to clear their names. Doesn't mean they did it. Doesn't mean they perpetrated anything. It's just.
But if they've got someone who's a friend or a friend of a friend in a high place who perhaps can influence the judicial system in return for a favour, then perhaps they might be willing to help them with their troubles. That's the angle we're looking at there, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which would be why Brown and Blair got involved through this friend of a friend of a friend. However, that's whatever's going on behind the scenes. But that's the hardest bit, I think, really, to actually come to any conclusions of, because it is all speculation and it is all something that there'll never ever be a paper trail that will be able to confirm any of that stuff, because it will be done behind closed doors or, you know, in telephone calls.
Yep. And they Kate actually said no comment to over 20 questions, I think it was. Like, why would you have no comment? Yeah, why would you say that?
When your daughter's just been kidnapped.
Yeah, literally. You know, but I mean, on those PJ files that, you know, anyone could Google it, but you can go on there. You got Kate McCann's statement, Gerry McCann's statement, like every single statement. There's absolutely loads of them. You can have a look at the photos. Obviously, there is actually like the whole case files index. So if you go on there, I mean, I started reading lots, and oh wow, yeah, it went absolutely crazy. I was making myself ill. I don't know. I think it's something in me. I just don't stop. But yeah, I was
and did
like,
you believe them?
Eh?
What is the convincing story that they tell in these statements?
There's so many red flags. It's sort of thing you've got to read. You could literally talk about it for hours. I mean, some of it is so strange, especially that David Payne. He's a strange one. He was actually saying like things, like with to do with Madeleine McCann and that, and he was like rubbing his nipple and like put his tongue out of his mouth and all that. He was doing weird stuff, yeah. And like Gerry,
he the one that said she was? Did he say she was like an angel or a doll or something? Was that him?
Yeah. Yep, I believe that's him. Yeah, David Payne is a weird one. So yeah, I don't know what to sort of make of him, but he comes across as a bit dodgy. But even if that is the case, it doesn't sort of, or wouldn't affect anything if Madeleine actually sadly ended up having an accident, died in the apartment, because regardless of any of that, it's irrelevant, isn't it? So
yeah. What happened to the crime scene then? Surely that was investigated.
Yep, well, they've done the photos, they had the cadaver dogs, they've done all the honours, got the photos which we've seen, which actually contradict things that Kate and Gerry said. So
yeah,
doesn't put them in a good light. But as far as I know, is those dogs have never been wrong, but now everyone's saying, but those dogs are wrong. That in itself, like, I can't see it.
Dogs don't get things wrong.
No, I mean, how many dogs do you know that, you know, they look at you and they like, yeah, I'm going to lie. Dogs just.
These weren't any ordinary dogs. These were, you know,
no.
They've been in the trade for a long time. They're loyal to their master.
Yep,
they know what they're doing.
Think about the alternative as well. Let's suppose that they hadn't done these things. You know, they're completely innocent. What is the likelihood that these dogs managed to pick up the scent of a cadaver that had been stashed in that body before the McCanns got there, and then a second cadaver had been stashed in a hire car that they happened to hire. The likelihood of those two things happening is far less.
I think you solved it, Jake. That's what it is. Just coincidence, mate.
There's no such thing as coincidence. Only the illusion of coincidence is what it says in Think of a Better. I agree.
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely more to this. It's a shame, like, you know, can't just sit here and solve it. It'd be nice, but
would be nice.
It would be. It would be. But you know, there's just something about these Kate and Gerry.
Yeah, and I think there's something about the money as well. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised that this sort of charity thing was a money laundering front for something, because that's what a lot of
charities are like that. Yeah, I agree.
So it could well be something that's, God knows what it's being used for. Probably something to do with Peter Mandelson. I mean, I'm sure he'll be involved in this if Blair and Brown were involved.
Yeah. I'm surprised the conspiracy theories haven't put in the Epstein files and everything else yet. Have some of that.
Yeah. And would you be surprised if this name came up in those files? No.
No, Gerry or David Payne. That wouldn't surprise me from what I've seen. I'd just be like,
no, not at all.
I'd have to,
especially with do with children. I mean, if it's to do with children, 100%, it could be a link.
Well, let's think about the possibility of their story being true. So, firstly, there's got to be a predator in that area, at least one. Now, is that possible? Well, yes, of course it's possible, because they're everywhere. There's nothing you can really do about them. But this isn't just your average predator. This is someone that's willing to go that extra step and actually act out what their sick fantasies are. And as sickening as such people are, fortunately, they are a rarity amongst most people. So it's already statistically quite high improbability of someone who's a parent having to experience this, thank God. But for this, we've got to accept that that is true. We've got to accept that in a very narrow window, they've managed to get in through a very narrow window, to go sneak across a room to take a child, sneak out again without being seen, and without waking those children up. Then have somehow managed to either get into a vehicle and escape, or have got into a building nearby where they can hide with this child until things have calmed down, or whatever, however they go about doing things. So if they were going to do that, why would they do it? Well, either for their own gratification or to sell to somebody else. Do those things happen? Sadly, they do. So, as a possibility, it's not implausible that this could have happened. And there are reports that there were predators, known predators in that area at that time.
Yeah.
Certainly, there was a case in France where there were people being taken from tents. I seem to remember around that time as well.
Yeah, I remember
that. Yeah, so these things happen, but they are extremely rare. So I don't think we can say that it's complete and absolute bullshit, their story, in that regard.
Yeah.
But in this specific case, is that what happened is the more pressing question. And I think that the question marks are far more on the McCanns than they are on this predator.
Yeah.
I don't think, for example, it's that German guy they've said that it is.
I mean, it's not to rule out like that the fact that child abductions don't happen and that people use children for sexual gratification. It does happen, but it's just given the circumstances, the number of obstacles that these alleged abductors have to go through in order to kidnap one child. Just go through all that hassle in such a safe area as well. It's extremely safe, like Praia-de-Luge. Historically, it has been. It's just a resort, you know, for a predator to go in there to plan out his scheme so in such a kind of sophisticated way, be able to plan something out. Like, you'd have to be an expert at your craft of
and a
kidnapping
ninja.
and abducting children.
Yeah, a ninja.
You would have to be.
Yeah, to slide in and out.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, you could maybe perhaps they're trying to hide in plain sight, because we all remember that hideous image of Jamie Bulger being led out by those two devils holding his hand, so people wouldn't have questioned really that that it was just their little brother or something like that. Maybe the thinking is, if I'm in an area where there are lots of families, people will just think it's my kid anyway. But a kid isn't going to just go along complicitly, are they? I wouldn't have thought they would have put up some resistance, so that wouldn't add up either.
Not
There's too
always,
many things
because
that go wrong.
Not always. I think with Madeleine being a girl, girls, especially young girls, they can be a bit more frightened, so they wouldn't really understand what was going on. They wouldn't know what to do. Maybe they'd have an assumption that this is my dad's friend or my mum's friend. These child abductors, if they are good at what they do, they probably have manipulative tactics to convince the child to come along with them, or to try to sweet talk them, offer them treats. Yeah, offer them treats, or
and would you be
like that. It does happen.
Would you, if you were at a holiday resort and you saw someone walking around carrying a child, would you be suspicious of them? Probably not.
No, that's the thing, isn't it?
Not in a resort. No, not in a resort. Not in a family resort.
She's tired. Been there, done that myself. That's normal.
So that gives a plausible getaway there, doesn't it?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, like reverse psychology, just planning out some kind of a crime like that in the most safe area when people least expect that to happen. Possibly.
And where was this guy as well? I mean, he's not going to have just gone there by chance. It doesn't sound. This has been planned out before. So where is he hiding out, waiting for them to go, or did he just follow them down to the hotel where they were, with them for a bit till they started eating, and then went off and thought, I've got half an hour to kidnap or something? It's just too many, as has been said, there's just too many obstacles there for this to be something that someone would even consider. Too many risks.
Yeah, and the adults, they checked on the children every 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. That's, I wouldn't call that regular. I mean, come on, keep your child with you whilst you're dining at the seafood restaurant. Like, it's your children in a foreign country, for God's sake. But anyways, for argument's sake, 15 minutes apart, you can't do that much in a reasonable time limit of 15 minutes. Like, there's just no way you can abduct a child in that time.
But that,
like, even if you're a professional, there's so many things there's so many factors to consider. Evading witnesses, eyewitnesses, remaining hidden.
You take 6 minutes to get there. Couple of minutes, just make sure they're all right, sweet, everything's cushy, yeah. 6 minutes walking back. Well, there's about 14 minutes. You sit down, 1 minute later, oh, your turn. Off you go. Then your missus comes back, sits down, 1 minute later, oh, I'll go now. That's no.
Now, unless before, so they tucked the children into bed and then they headed off to the seafood restaurant. That time gap between them going to bed and the parents heading off to the restaurant, that was that window of time when Madeleine was kidnapped, because that would be the perfect time where the abductor would make his first move and then possibly put like I don't know, some kind of body bag or a number of objects, tuck it into bed, put a blanket over it as if there's a body on top of the bed, and the parents who were inspecting on the children coming back from the seafood restaurant, taking their turn, their walk, they'd suspect nothing was out of the ordinary, because I see her sleeping, I can't see her face, but you see in movies as well, it happens. Like, children do that all the time. If they want to sneak out of their parents' home, they'll hide like an object under the pillows or the bed sheets, just to disguise themselves as if they're actually sleeping, just to deceive the parents. It
does happen.
Could happen.
And then the other aspect would be, because obviously that would involve a lot of planning if that were going to happen. The other alternative is, okay, what if it was just a random opportunist grabbing? Well, you'd have to go those steps to start with, to be able to look through the window, which you wouldn't have been able to see through because the blind was closed. So you'd have to lift that up, seeing a child on the opposite side of the room, then, as we keep saying, ignored 2 children to get to 1, just on a whim. If we then look at what Sonia was arguing, that perhaps children drugged, well, that is a possibility. There is a drug that they used to use called Phenergan, which I believe sometimes people still use to help children to sleep at night, and possibly they'd given some of that. Maybe Madeleine woke up, needed the toilet, or wanted a drink of water or something like children do. Maybe she went to look out the window where her parents were, fell off a sofa, slipped, whatever, hit her head. That's not unlikely, is it? In fact, when we look at that, considering the other possibilities we've just discussed, which one of those situations seems the most likely?
Exactly.
The latter, yeah. Hitting her head. I mean, the blood stains, the dogs, back of the car. Were there blood stains at the back of the car, or was it a cadaver smell? I forgot what the details
I'm
were.
not sure.
It was like a hire car.
I think it's to do with the actual smell, like picking up the scent of a cadaver, rather than
inside of the hire, at the back of the hire.
They hired after she went missing.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Madeleine's blood in the boot or something, then that, you know, the case would have gone down a different route, surely. So it would have been the cadaver smell, or they picking up the scent of a dead body. But this is apparently a week or 2 later, wasn't it? So where was Madeleine in that?
So that means then that what happened is that either one or both of those parents would have to have moved that body somewhere overnight in order to then hire a car to drive it somewhere else and dispose of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're close to the ocean. There's an abundance of areas to hide a body.
Yeah.
Deception detective, he did say repeatedly they've within their statements and the stuff that they say, they mentioned words that relate to kind of nautical terminology. So to do with water, like wells, you know, like water wells, tanks, underground sort of stuff to do with water, like nautical terminology. So it may have been something to do with that, you know, submerging in
somewhere
a
well. Good place to hide then.
Possibly. Yeah, and dogs can't sniff for that, because if you put a dead body inside of water, they're less likely to smell. I actually don't know.
I would have
but a well, I think a well would be a perfect place to hide it, a dead body, because hard to discover. Even dogs can't smell that deep. It's harder. At least it's harder for them to pick it up.
So if that, let's suppose that this is true, then let's suppose they've stashed her in a well or a water storage. They've put her somewhere. They've then got to make sure that the next day or the day after they can get back to that place and not be seen in order to dispose of it. So is it possible that it's somewhere that they could get to at night? So maybe the next night they go out there and have to move it.
Yeah.
Because that would be the next logical thing for them to have to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And they've got to get rid of it while at the same time knowing that the police are after them. So they'd have to get rid of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So in order for this version to be true, what I think would have to have happened is they would have to know that they are guilty as hell for what has happened, and they've panicked and they're trying to do something about it. An abduction certainly shifts the sympathy onto them, distracts away from anything bad they might have done. And
but
their behaviour doesn't help them.
But out of panic, it's out of panic that they scrambled around trying to hide the body, transporting her from the apartment without being seen, avoiding detection to a secret place. But there was an eyewitness, some kind of Smith family member, they referenced to the Portuguese police. They saw a father carrying a child over his shoulders, and Sonia said, like, he was pretty damn sure that it was Gerry McCann in the description. But no. But yeah, it's highly likely they hid the body somewhere.
It's really difficult though, isn't it? Once you actually start to look into the logistics of what they'd actually have to do. It's all very well and good hypothesizing about what we think happened, but actually looking at step by step the process you'd have to go through is really, really difficult to try and work out what happened. So let's suppose then that they've panicked. Why are they panicking? Well, they would panic because they possibly could be facing a murder charge here. Or at very least manslaughter. So of course it's in their interests to not be convicted of that. But are we really looking in the wrong place here? Should we really be saying, actually, it's the police who are at fault here, because they should have put all this together at the time, they should have arrested them at the time, or they should have done better at what they did? Or is that where we get into a different area where there's the British police are part of what's going on here as well?
Possibly.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible, but would the police, like that many police, etc., be involved with it?
Well, have you ever been in a situation where you've been caught doing something you shouldn't have been doing and then lied about it to get out of it? Of course you have. Everyone has. We've all done it. But sticking to that lie is very, very different. And sticking to a lie starts to seem a bit more plausible once you listen to what those McCanns are actually saying, doesn't it? Because they're not speaking like normal people would speak. Their expression is odd. The use of tense is odd. That whatever it is, there is something quite clearly wrong in this case. And we can see where all the different tension points are, but it's really difficult to actually identify exactly what happened for absolute certainty.
Yep. I see where you're going. It's just a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah, there's some other cases over in the States as well that are really curious, like JonBenet Ramsey. That's a very famous one.
Yeah.
Or like children being stuffed inside of like suitcases or refrigerators or something. There's loads of those cases.
One of the cases that's always horrified me is Natasha Kampusch, who was kidnapped in Austria when she was a child. She was kept for, I think it was about 8 or 10 years or something like that. And she eventually escaped and he killed himself. But in his will, he gave her the house. And she went there and she lived in that house where she'd been held hostage. And she was quite talkative to start with, but apparently now she's had a complete breakdown over it, which is hardly surprising. It's just a horrible, horrendous case.
Mate, that's Stockholm Syndrome in a nutshell.
Yes, exactly.
That's backfired on her. Massively.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know the case, it's worth looking into, and she's certainly done some interviews about it in the past.
Wow.
What's her name?
Natasha. It was an interesting one because it's more about survival than anything else, I suppose, because you're dependent on somebody for everything, even though that they're an abuser. Without them, you haven't got access to water, food, anything.
Yeah.
They
what was her name? Natasha what?
Natasha Kampusch. Kampusch, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. Austrian Natasha Kampusch story. 8.5 years in captivity.
And I think when she escaped, I think he threw himself in front of a train, I think.
Bloody hell.
It's a horrible, horrible story. But there's an interview she did where one of his friends speaks, and I can't remember exactly what it is he says, but it very much seemed to me that this friend was involved as well somehow. But that's another rabbit hole to go down if they want to look into that. And Stockholm Syndrome, I believe, came from a bank robbery in the mid-70s where they were kept hostage, and when they were released, the hostages were sympathetic towards their captors because they'd been quite decent with them. So that's where the term originally comes from. How prevalent it is, I don't know. But certainly in this case, it absolutely is Stockholm Syndrome. I mean, she was brainwashed, and she was chained to beds and beaten and all sorts.
Blimey, bloody humans, mate.
And just imagine as a parent as well, you know, you lose a child once, then they come back 8.5 years later. It's not going to be the same person, is it?
Nope.
So it's double loss that they've got to then cope with and live with, and it's a really awful story on every possible level.
No, without doubt, it's absolutely nuts.
I know one thing you haven't mentioned yet, though. What if that mad Polish girl is actually Madeleine McCann? Have you seen that story?
What's her name? Julie. What, Julie?
Wandelt, Postina, whatever you want to call. She's an absolute fruit loop. Julia Wandelt. She's a fruit loop. She just got charged with harassment.
Yeah, she's innocent, isn't she?
I covered the court case all like 21 days or 22 days. It's all up in its own little.
Oh, really? Was it stalking and harassment that she got?
Yeah, stalking and harassment causing severe distress.
Yeah.
But that Julia Wandelt, it's basically said in the court. She's literally been told in the court. They said, right, we are literally saying Julia Wandelt is not Madeleine McCann, and no one debated it because the police done DNA and everyone else has done DNA and all that. But she likes to manipulate it to fit her narrative. But she's basically not Julia because she hasn't even got the same eye thing going on. Nothing. So she's done this lot, and I've done a few videos calling her out.
Woman who claimed to be Madeleine McCann found guilty of harassing missing toddler's parents.
Yep. Yeah. She claimed to be Madeleine McCann, St. Gerrick. She's claimed to be about 4 different missing girls.
Yes, she has. Yeah.
And she said her mum won't do a DNA test. Her mum is on record saying, yes, I'll do a DNA test. You pay for it. Let's do it. And then she didn't say anything more about it.
Yeah, and I thought she did do a DNA.
She did in the end. It was that Thea Johansson done one. It proved obviously that she wasn't Madeleine, and she dropped her like a hot potato. The police, obviously, when she was arrested, took DNA that did not match Madeleine's profile. So in the court, they said, like, you are not Madeleine McCann. So she started crying. I mean, what?
Yeah,
so
she's a very troubled young woman.
Yeah, I think it was Inga Gerrick, Acacia Bishop. There was another girl from America claiming to be Madeleine McCann.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's just ridiculous. But basically, no, she's talking out of her backside. She's been proven via DNA not to be. And the Polish police had all of her birth certificate, passport, this, that, and everything else. And it's all legit. So she's absolute Fruit Loop. So
Marie was just made a really good point there about the other kids. But you know, why weren't they charged with neglect for Lee and for the other 2 kids?
Exactly.
Yep. I reckon
charged straight away.
Sympathy vote. Oh, you just lost your daughter, so okay, we'll leave it like that. Do you know what I mean? You're being punished enough. That's what it would have been.
Someone has said a DNA test showed 2 distant cousins named McCann. That's
no, it
not
didn't.
really proof that
No, it didn't.
that's quite a
That's
big distance.
she manipulated the results, and she's sort of giving misreadings. She's done it on Sean Atwood as well. She's trying to make out because this, that, or something to do with Gerry, and that he could be the dad, but she's not the mum. It's all been debunked. It's all absolute crap, and she doesn't have the eye condition. I'll literally prove it right now for you, because obviously I can't stand people that are going to support Julia Wandelt and her lies. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how people can claim that. Like, it's just, it's an actual insult to Madeleine McCann. Like, just stop. So this is the photo. This is the photo. They try to say it. Obviously, as you're looking at it, it's going to be her left eye, but if you turn around, it's her right eye. Obviously, Madeleine McCann had something that said, like, it would be there forever. It's for life. You can't get rid of it. So let's have a look. Oh, look, nothing. There's a little bit of shade here. Like, see the little bit of shade? They try and make out that that's it, but it's not even in the right place because it's further around. It's more towards the sort of 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock type mark. At 6 o'clock, she's shadow from the photo. That's it. That
doesn't even have the same shape face.
Nope. So anyone who thinks that she is Madeleine McCann, like, they're part of the problem. It's going to help her exacerbate, like, a stupid idea. Look at this. That is her eye. Oh, it's probably more about 7 o'clock. That is blatantly obvious. There's nothing there.
Look at the nose.
Straight down.
Yeah, they're not even close.
See, her nose here, Julia's nose, is quite wide around the nostrils, whereas, look, Madeleine's isn't at all. Her nostrils are quite close together, and the shape's different.
And the shape of the face as well. Madeleine's got a round-shaped face. Julia's got a rectangular kind of face.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Exactly.
She looks like her mother, Madeleine McCann, in that picture.
Yep. Here's one. Here's Julia with her mum. Let me. Yeah, that's her mum there, on the left. There's Madeleine.
Yeah, she looks like Kate McCann in that picture, I think.
That one she does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And then the middle, that's her mum in the middle, and that's Julia there.
Right.
So I don't know what planet these people are coming. This is when she was younger. Look at her eye. Nothing there. It's just a shadow at the very bottom. But it's nothing there.
Look at the shape of her face. Look at the nose. It's not even close. There's no resemblance.
I don't get why people.
Why did people focus on her? I think probably just to get views and clicks.
Yeah,
just to garner up attention.
Again, like, you can just see it's just photos. You know, the way they're taken. It's dark there. It's nothing to do with Madeleine. Like you say, she's claimed to be other people. So, I mean, well, she's not what. I mean, I've said it before, and people like tried to rib me in the comments, but Gerry and Kate McCann are what I call athletic looking.
Yeah.
Julia is the opposite.
Yeah, she's a fat Polish girl.
Yeah. You said that, not me.
Yeah.
But
she is. She is.
But there's no way you can say this eye here is like any of Julia's. It's just not. It's just absolute rubbish. So anyone wants
that's
to
a very common mark, isn't it?
No, Scatty Sue, you say like the eye condition can move. No, it can't. That is a freckle. Or some say it's a coloboma, which is an actual hole. But either way, it's there for life. It cannot move. I mean, I've got a mole on my cheek. It's never moved. Do you know what I mean? There's certain marks. It's literally, you've got something like that, it will not move. So, I mean, and the fact that you even got to argue this case, knowing that the court said at the beginning of the case, right, we are starting on the premise that Julia is not Madeleine. No one said anything. And look at that. Look at this photo. That's Julia. That's with that other girl. But look at this in the eye. Like, there's nothing there. You can't see at the bottom. I mean, it's a bit of a crap photo. But this is a woman that done DNA test. It came back that she's absolutely nothing to do with the McCanns, because it came back that she was like a Lithuanian, Polish with a little bit of Lithuanian or something. So, you know, Polish DNA, and Madeleine McCann's would have been something like English and German or something like that. So she literally dropped her like a hot potato. And she said that just would not have it, even though she was told
it's showing
not Madeleine McCann.
It was East European DNA then, is what it's showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if she was still alive, Lynn, then that eye condition, everyone is going to recognise that across the world. Everyone will know who she is. Exactly. And it just isn't there.
Nothing there. It's not there. It's literally not there.
Yeah,
you've got better light that can make it a little bit dark, but you know, anyone's photo. But this is like when she was a bit younger as well. So yeah, it's just I don't get what people. I mean, are they really sort of scraping the barrel? I mean, does she look like she's related to Kate and Gerry?
No.
Really? Does that look like Madeleine McCann? I mean, get a grip. She's been on drugs for psychotic stuff and all this mental health, this, that, and everything else. And people go, "Oh, you're attacking her, and she's got mental health." No, she's actually insulting Madeleine McCann's memory by claiming to be something she's not. It's disgusting. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a mental health issue in that regard. The mental health issue there is the harm she's doing to herself and to other people. It's not the fact that she's got a mental health condition. It's she's intruding on the McCanns' life. Regardless of what we think of the McCanns and what they've done, you can't do that to somebody. You can't constantly phone someone up and say, "I'm your daughter," or turn up at their house claiming to be a daughter who either they killed or was kidnapped several years ago. You can't do it.
Exactly. See,
making it all about itself. Even the eyebrows don't even look the same.
Yeah.
So, I see what other report. The other girls she claimed to be. I think Inga Jerrick and Acacia Bishop in America, because she was actually told by the woman who does the missing persons charity that like she's got issues, and the police told her like to get her help, and she was advised to get help. Oh yeah, it was Inga Jerrick. So
she's got a lot of for it then. Well, that in itself would be a psychological condition.
Yeah. This is the other girl. I can't remember her name. The American girl. But you'd actually think she actually looks more like Madeleine.
See more.
But look at her eye. Look at her eye, though. Can you see the eye? There's nothing there.
I'd be a lot more convinced if it was her, but still not convinced.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But no, but the eye's not the same either. I can't remember her name. Let's see if it's.
What kind of sick person though would actually go online and claim to be someone's missing child? I just do not understand that way of thinking.
I can't. Oh, it's no. I can't think what my name is. I've gone. There's a woman going to be Madeleine McCann, America. Eugenia Collins. That was it. Oh, mate, that was so bugging me. But yeah, so she made fresh claims. Crazy. This is the world we live in, where we even have to entertain that. But I actually called Sean Atwood out because he was doing interviews with her and all that, and I'm like, you're not helping her, and they were going, oh yeah, look at this DNA. She's actually physically lying about the DNA. She said about all the drugs they were trying to kill her. So I wrote down every single drug, looked it all up, and that you can literally take certain drugs when you're 7 or older. And she was saying, oh, the dosage was just ridiculous. It's like they were literally trying to kill her. And a nurse, Sean Atwood, put it up on stage. And it said, like, I'm a nurse, what they're giving to her, wrong drugs, wrong dosage. I've Googled it, right drugs, right dosage for what she had. So I've got books, hang on.
Yeah, she's obviously got some sort of psychological disorder.
Oh, when I was looking into the case,
blimey, you have looked into the case.
So about all of this, I've got it all in here. I saw about the fake. Got all about the psychics that are, you know, obtaining money by deception and all the fraud and all that rubbish.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had all the drugs written. I don't know which book it's in though, but I've got so much crap. I started writing things down. I thought I was writing the Bible at one point. I don't know what the hell I was writing about. But yeah, I started writing down all these weird sayings. But like Julia, 5 different surnames: Wandelt, Wanzel, Orstina, and Pilzik, whatever that is. Oh, her DNA is Polish, Lithuanian, and Romanian.
Right.
And she is actually 2 years older than Madeleine.
Oh yeah. And she
that would
she has the gall to show up to the McCanns and say that she's Madeleine.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Regardless of what you think of the McCanns, you know, there's no excuse for this.
Some of the notes, I can't believe I wrote all this down as well. But I was trying to see if I could find it with the drugs and everything that she was taking, because they were. There it is. This is all the drugs. Like
more than I take.
Yeah, I take 7 a day. I was gutted. I was like, how do you get so many? Topamax, Tylenol, Acetyl, Alicia, something. Peritol said that. Fibrixine, Trilithon, Alafranil, whatever the hell. But they're making out all this, that, and everything else, and basically it's wrong.
She's obviously not stable, judging from that list of heavy psychiatric drugs.
Basic, yeah, like an epileptic drug, psychiatric, neurological, allergic, depression, anxiety, preventing, managing seizures, depression, insomnia, anxiety, escitalopram. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Apotex, schizophrenia, and bipolar. Thing is, though, she used to like literally physically attack her mum after a board game if she lost. So we were playing Monopoly and she was losing, she would literally get up, start abusing her mum, and then physically attack her.
And she had epilepsy as well, from the sound of it.
Yeah, that's what it seems to come across with the drugs.
Yeah, she's definitely bipolar then. It's 100%
yeah.
bipolar.
This would clearly suggest to me that she has got a very, I'll be polite about it, a very divergent brain structure.
Yes. Basically.
Or to put it another way, she's got some challenging issues that come with her unique brain conditions.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's an insult to Madeleine McCann, her memory and everything. But yeah, she's very she's got a collection of, but it basically proves that you know, she's talking out of her backside. And anyone who like, that's why I get wound up when people say, "Oh no, but she is Madeleine." It's like, one, it's an insult to Madeleine, but two, you're literally giving her an excuse to carry on, and she's not said nothing about it since the court case, nothing. She's found guilty, gone back to Poland, that's it, silence. And I actually spoke to her in an email. She actually responded, but she would not come on to my channel because she said, you hate me and you're going to attack me. I said, no, I don't hate you. I hate what you're doing. And yes, I will call you out. I've got proof here that you are not Madeleine. It's only fair that you come on and give your side, trying to do it like that. But she wouldn't do it. She would not do it. But then Sean Atwood was like, oh, yes, I believe you're Madeleine. She's like, oh, I'll come on your show then. Oh, look. And Sean's given a link to donate money. Yeah, she had a GoFundMe page and it raised €10.
Yeah. That's disappointing, though, from Sean, because he's got a massive audience. He's got over 1 million subs. And he does produce some content that's really, really good. He does sometimes go off on these strange tangents with things. There was one before, I can't remember her name. There was someone who was a prostitute or something like that he got involved with. That was very peculiar.
Yes. Yeah, that was.
But it's not him that I have an issue with. It's my other fellow I don't like who he hangs around with, the Scottish guy, Ron Swanson.
Yeah, that's it. He was part of the problem, going, "Oh yes, this is the evidence that we need about her DNA. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, look at that." And you're like, "She's literally lying, mate. She's literally doctored the paperwork. Even her something to do with she put something up on Instagram, so I screenshotted it. I used it in a video, and it had a date of birth on it because it's from her doctors, and it proved that she's not Madeleine. So I literally put like, Julia proves she's not Madeleine. It says on her date of birth. I was like, well, that's not the 12th of May. That's the 2nd of August. Like, I don't know, 2nd of August, whenever, 2001. Not even born in 2003 or something. So yeah, so that was hilarious. So
it does show a fault line with the mental health services we have, though, because obviously this is something that should have been picked up. She should have been dealt with. It should never have got to the point where she was able to make that contact with the McCann family and harass them in such a way.
Yeah,
that's a big problem we have, in that people will identify a risk, but the authorities are very reluctant to act until something's actually happened. That's too late.
Yep. But yeah, so I'll debunk Julia Wandelt just like that, so she won't have nothing to do with me. But I mean, she got on Dr. Phil and everything else, and she literally got owned.
Yeah.
You know, that's the end of that. So I'm hoping we're never going to hear from her again now, because the court said, like, you're not Julia Wandelt, so you're not Madeleine McCann. You are Julia Wandelt. You are. Sorry, don't say that. Otherwise, she'll take that and go, "Oh my god!"
She'll clip that and store it forever.
Yeah, but yeah, because I called her out, she wouldn't come on the show, and I said, well, you know, everyone else is sort of pandering to what you're saying and giving it all that, and I had a lady on, and she went through the DNA and literally proved that where she highlighted it and doing what she was doing, she was literally explaining it totally wrong, and she was concentrating on certain points where it was the other points that you should have been looking at, and they were different. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so you know,
it's a disgusting habit, but it isn't the first time people have done things like it. Of course, though, I mean, there have been several people known to be Princess Anastasia Romanov, and living in the States, having escaped from Russia and all of that sort of thing. I think whenever there's a mystery, people like to try and invent something or to claim they're part of it. Makes them feel important.
Well,
they
they
try to involve themselves in the case because they want to jump to conclusions. Yeah, it does happen.
Well, I got a secret to tell you two guys. For the last 2 hours and 53 minutes and 51 seconds, you have both been talking to Jesus. I wasn't going to tell you.
Hallelujah.
I thought for a second you were going to say you were Madeleine McCann.
I tried that one, but no one would believe me. And I said, "Look,
can I see your eye? Show us your eye. Show us your eye."
Yeah, that's the giveaway.
Into my eye, not around my eye, into my eye. Woo!
You've had it removed, that's why.
I did. I had it surgically removed, and I had a sex change.
Yeah.
So
That
if
Well, at
beard
least
isn't
we've
real.
solved the Madeleine
It's a
McCann.
fake beard. You solved the case. Case closed. Yeah. Can someone text Sonia Bolton or whatever her name is, Sonia Polton.
Polton.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you two know. I mean, are all the files available, or have any of them been sealed and locked away for a certain time period?
What to do with Madeleine
No,
McCann
no.
case?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, Operation Grange is still operational, and the Portuguese
anything-
So they're all still available.
Anything to do with the PJ files, i.e. the Portuguese, that they are up at pjfiles.com, I think, or .co.uk. But just put PJ files, they come straight up. But that has got like ridiculous amounts, like thousands and thousands of pages. It's got all the statements, photos, anything that you need to look into that case is there. Operation Grange isn't quite so open, but you know, that's there. And as far as I know, nothing has been held back from the Portuguese police. But there is a problem with the information because they've translated it into English, and on some of it, I've clicked on the actual Portuguese version to have a look through because I thought, hang on, why? Because I saw a mark and I was like, how's that not on that when that's translated? Maybe something's wrong here. It's a bit dodgy. But they've actually blocked out in the British version the phone numbers, the mobile phone numbers of Kate and Gerry. But on the Portuguese version, you can see their numbers. So guess they've got them. Julia Wandelt. Hello, Daddy. Do you know what I mean?
You must have do it for like days on end, just every single day, hounding them, using a different mobile phone as well. Something
Probably
using payphones.
But I mean, I could never phone someone and make out. I'm adopted as well, so I could be anyone's son. Do you know what I mean? So you know, I could just, I don't know, phone Elton John. So you know, when you got accidentally slept with a woman. Do you know what I mean?
That one time you did it, Elton, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And just think of all that child support you owe me for these years.
Yeah. Or even George Michael. I could be his long lost son, maybe, because you know I've always got this song going around my head, going, "Let your son go down on me." I mean, don't let your son go down.
Wait, don't you know about Lauren the Insider? She came on Andrew Gold's podcast.
I used to be her as well. I used to be her.
I mean, apparently, yeah. I never knew she was a goddaughter of George Michael.
She was, yeah.
She's
always.
Yeah, I mean, like she's exposed the whole establishment media side of things.
Yeah, she's the one that.
Yeah, this whole Madeleine McCann case has been an establishment cover up, 100%. There's just too many red flags and holes there, especially with the media being involved.
What are they covering up, though, and who are they covering it up for?
Yep, that's what we want to know, mate. Maybe it's because of me.
Is that it's a friend of a friend somehow that relates up to the top.
Yeah.
Maybe they're part of the same golf club, or they're in the same Rotary club, or something like that.
Yeah. Could be.
But what do we think is the most likely thing to have happened?
They the McCann parents, obviously with their expertise in the medical field, and they're both doctors and whatnot, they obviously sedated her with sleeping drugs or whatever, overdosed, accidental death. She passed out, either hit her head on the cabinet, or what could have happened is that she died of cardiac arrest. And then when they tried to transport her body in an attempt to hide the body, they dropped her, and that's how the blood stains appeared. So there's two possible scenarios. But I think even if they even if the McCann parents didn't intentionally kill Madeleine, they're hiding something. Just look at their body language. Look at the way they describe the sequence of past events. Something doesn't add up.
And it's not just past events. This is their miracle baby. They're one in a million baby.
I just like the language that they use, their facial expressions. They didn't use, you know, they never once broke down, especially Kate. That's a big red sign. You know, running off back to the seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
And leaving your twin children there. It's just nothing adds up. There's too many red flags.
Did they do any, I can't remember if they did, but did they do one of those videos where they plead for an abductor to bring them back, that sort of thing?
To what?
Because that usually happens when someone's missing, isn't it? You say, please bring them home. No, I don't remember them doing one.
They did say it when they were asked, though. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they did admit, they did release that statement, but only when they were asked the question.
Okay. Because that would have been interesting, because then you could perhaps have compared it with one that we know is genuine to see what the difference is. I think we're pretty sure the difference is. It's just there's a lack of emotion that's there.
Yeah.
And maybe because they're doctors, they have to show a lack of emotion in what they actually do because of their job. But when it's your own child, your own miracle baby, no, you wouldn't behave like that.
Yeah, the way they distance themselves from Madeleine and talking hypotheticals, talking past tense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember them actually doing an appeal. I remember they sort of say, "Oh, has anyone seen anything or heard anything?" But not actual like, if you took Madeleine, give her back.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember.
That's what they normally do, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about the when Nick and Ollie went missing, her husband did one of those videos.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are very suspicious about him, but he seemed far more emotionally involved than the McCanns.
Definitely. Yeah, he did. That was a strange one and all. But yeah.
I've got a theory about what happened to her.
Oh,
I think, I have. And it sounds stupid, but it's the only thing I could think that would make any sense.
Jews. Don't tell me. Jews.
No, I don't think it was the Jews. I think that what happened is she was about to go on a Zoom call or a Teams, whatever it was. I think she nipped over the stile to have a piss, then tripped over her trousers or something, fell in the water, had a big heavy coat on. It would be very difficult to then get out of that water because of all the weight, and she just drowned like that. Because it's the only thing I can think of why she would have been going near the water and be away from her phone would be that she'd gone around the corner to have a.
So who are you talking about? Who are you referencing?
That's Nicola Bully.
Which one?
Nicola Bully. This would have been. Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, a couple of years back, because the news went mental for it. Again, it all up like more than any other story for some strange reason.
Yeah, she went missing by a river. There was no trace of her, and then a couple of weeks later, they found her a bit further downstream. But in the time that she was missing, there was a lot of speculation. And how can she be missing in a river this small, this shallow, all that kind of thing?
That's right. It was it's so weird. I was like, "Way," but then that Peter bloke, he's taking all the cop, wasn't he? Saying, "Oh, yeah, you didn't find her." He's like, "Yeah, but I did though."
Yeah, he did find him. Found her.
Yeah,
he's an expert.
Yep, and they tried to literally ruin him, didn't they, over that? But he said about it, and they were like, "No, that's a tree or something," and they're like, "No, it's not a tree."
Yeah. Yeah, he's done a few interviews now too, hasn't he? Where he's spoken about his findings and how they were covered up.
Yep.
Which is weird. He seemed to think it was an ego thing, didn't he? He thought that the police just wanted to have the credit for finding the body, and that's all it was.
That wouldn't surprise me. Something stupid like that. Don't worry about the actual victim, though.
No, people do things like that because I know works for the police, and where I live, the river runs through the town, is the border between Norfolk and Suffolk. And once he told me that there was a body was on the one side of the river and the police pushed it over to the other side so they didn't have to do it. That's the sort of thing they will do.
Scumbags.
Fuck
no.
That screwed the case up.
Yeah. Yes, and Robert Johnson is right, pulling bodies out that have been in there for years, yeah. They found some Victorian ones, I think, in the Thames.
Wow. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Wow.
Yeah, they are bastards over the Moors murder on Keith Bennett. That's terrible.
Yeah.
They know where that kid was buried, and all they had to do was give that mother the decency of at least being able to say goodbye to her son properly and have somewhere to go and visit him, and they wouldn't even give her that.
He's never been found, has he?
No. But there's a rumour or a theory that when they took photographs, they were taken on the location where the bodies actually were buried. And there are a couple of, where they've tried to dig up where that location is today, but they still haven't found anything yet. Maybe they will, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Break the Ice done something on that.
I think they're more likely to find him, though, than they are Madeleine McCann.
Yes. Yeah. When I was like that deep in this Madeleine McCann case, like it was only a dream, so I don't really say much. But I was so deep in it, right? I had this dream. I woke up in the morning, and it was the weirdest like feeling that like I saw where she was. And obviously I'm not going to tell anyone or do anything. I'm telling you now because this is how weird brains work. But I saw a like a road sign, and it had something on it to do with a hospital. And then I was like, why would that be like, important? And my dream was really weird because where that was, it took me to a well, and the well was set back. So I was like, how does that work? So I've gone on Google Maps. I've gone to where the apartment is. I've started there, and I've done a when you go down on the actual street view. So I've gone up, I took the left, and there was a road to the right. So I went down there. I was like, that's going nowhere. So I turned around, come back. On the way back, on the right, there's the sign. I was like, nah, you're shitting me. Right. Let me take a right, which I could, obviously, because I took the right. And it's like a wall. So I had to change the view because there was like stone behind it. So I changed the view to look up, and there was a well. I was like, are you shitting me? So I told my missus, I was literally shaking. I said, I was going to tell you this. This is how dreams like screw with your head, because I was looking somewhere else originally, and then obviously I'm not going to start telling you, I went down this way and I was wrong and all that, because that's the boring part of the story. But I didn't literally just do it and go the right way straight away. But I was like, where would you go if you were in that apartment? So I went up instead of because originally I went down because people were saying towards the water. So I went up. And you have to take a left or right, I think. So I took a left, and then you can go straight over, keep going, or you take the right that I took. And because I went up there and it's the wrong way, I literally, as soon as I turned around, I saw the sign, and it was like the hospital thing. I was like, no way. I was like, can I turn right there? Yeah, I could go straight over, couldn't I? So I turned right, and like I say, it was a wall. So literally, when I panned out and looked down, there's literally behind that wall was a well. And I couldn't get it out of my head for weeks. It was really, really bugging me. And I wanted to raise money to go there and put something down in that well. I was that adamant, do you know what I mean? But I had to like let it slide. Anyone can say anything.
Yeah, but it's been fucking 20 years. You can't recover a body from that. I mean, the bones would have been, gone.
But there could be a way that you could drain that well. Must be a way you can drain it or something, or have some sort of camera or something to go down there, because like they did with Nicola Bulley, they could do something on the water to see what was under it. So there's something.
Like what, test for DNA?
But
I don't know.
Put something down to see if there's bones, and if there's bones, you could take the bones. But this is just like in my head, a dream, whatever. So, but there must be a way, because in my brain I was trying to go through it. I was even googling what you could use as a machine to go down in a well, because
you can use like a wired camera, like a wired.
The thing that struck me was her. Like, say if you're looking at me, like, say if this is the apartment here, yeah, you go up, you take the road across here, and the well is here. Well, yours talking about what can you do with a body quickly, literally up that boom. It would take as long to walk there as it would to walk back to the Tapas Bar. It was that close. So that's why my brain wouldn't let it go for weeks. Obviously, I got over it, but if she ever got found and she was there, I'd scream. I'd be like, mate, I actually saw that in a dream. It would screw with my head. It really would. But yeah,
you just admit you're Jesus. Just admitted you're Jesus. Yeah. You had a revelation. It was God's revelation.
The funny thing is, I won't get on an aeroplane.
You don't need to. You can fly.
Drive there.
Through your.
Yeah, but how those? I mean, you can you can really make yourself look like quite a horrible person coming up with things like that. But, if you said that to the wrong person and then like, oh yeah, let's all do it, and you got carried away with it, you could end up looking like a right idiot. And I can't be doing that. My brain couldn't handle it.
You'd be sued for defamation, mate.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You'd be stashed away.
But I want to know what's in that well to this day. I can't get the picture out of my head, but that I saw on Google Maps, it's just stuck in my head, because there's like a driveway bit there, then there's a wall, it's all greenery, and there's a well. Yeah,
fucking hell, creepy, mate. That's pretty creepy. I mean, especially like doing that in the dead of night as well. Like you'd have to hide the body overnight. I mean, would the bones still be there? I mean, it's been 20 years, and the child's bones as well. I'm not sure they'd be able to stand against the test of time.
Yeah, good point. I don't know. Well, they find bodies from thousands of years back. I mean, I suppose it depends where it's kept.
Yeah, but if it's kept in a fucking well, like anything ferments inside of a well. That water is like a bubbling fermentation inside. If it's a non-functioning well,
you'd hope so.
I don't know.
But very strange things, dreams. Very strange.
But would there be DNA in the soil or the water or anything either? I don't know. Probably not. But it's just annoying.
No, it's too. Time has passed by. Too many years. Yeah, DNA it dies out. Like it just degrades after a while, especially if
dinosaur bones, mate. They're millions of years old.
Yeah, it would stay in bones. Yeah, but obviously not the outside.
Can you imagine that though? If you actually found Madeleine McCann, oh my god, you could actually be able to sleep. Do you know what I mean? It'd be mental, wouldn't it? Absolutely mental.
Imagine if one of the parents came out and just made a full confession. Just
that's
all the beans just spilled out. Just spill out all the beans, especially with Kate McCann. She's being controlled by Gerry. Kate McCann, someday now, anytime, she's going to come out and confess. Like that
Gerry,
guilt
to me, he seems like just Now, I don't want to defame the man, but he seems to be like a wall beater. He's got that about him, you know, really controlling, distant.
Do you think so? Really?
I
bet he's
definitely
really
slaps her about.
Yeah, stern, strict dad. He's probably quite hard.
Yeah, typical Scottish Protestant. He might not be a Protestant actually, but the sort of dry Scottish authoritarian behavioural style seems to fit with him. And yeah, if anyone was going to crack it, would be her.
Yeah.
Someone says, not really. If the sediment at the bottom of the well is little oxygen, the body could be well preserved. Like it's in a, like it's being pickled inside of the well.
It's not nice. I remember when I was a kid, there was a piglet drowned in the river. It was there for months. It was just disgusting. It was so disgusting that there was part of you felt compelled to go and have a look regularly to see how disgusting.
Yeah. Human nature, isn't it? Human nature. That's crazy.
Well,
anyway.
It's not much to do with live in the countryside.
Yeah. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Well, that's 3 hours and 15 minutes, guys. That's a long video. That's a long video. All because Mo said about doing Madeleine McCann. It's all your fault, Mo.
Yeah, blame me. Now we've got into this rabbit hole.
It's been a very interesting discussion. Certainly, I hadn't planned today on discussing Madeleine McCann. It wasn't in my thought at all. When I saw the invite, I thought, yeah, this is an interesting discussion. So thanks for inviting me on. It's been a really interesting thing to talk about. And I think it would be interesting the way that we went through each scenario as well and planned out, you know, what would have to be done, because that's something that I don't think talked about enough.
Yeah, it's like putting your shoes inside of the alleged abductors, or Kate McCann. And it's like we're the detectives now. We should be put straight on the case.
I think so.
This is
damn right. I'm going straight to that well.
Straight to the well. Gerry, you're in trouble. No, just joking. Gerry, obviously. Obviously, both the McCanns are innocent. I would just like to state everything that I've said is speculation only, my opinion.
Yep.
Wait, no. Wait, Wizard. Why don't you give Paul Thorpe a call? Tell him to nip down to Portugal. He's in Spain, right? It's like a short drive to Portugal. It's not too long. Just tell him to fucking take a look down that well.
Look in the well.
Report back.
Hello. No, there's no reply. She's not there. Oh, crazy world.
But the other thing
she could be.
as well.
Dude, she could. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on.
I forgot as well. There's another rumor about the McCanns that they were all a bunch of swappers as well.
They what?
I don't know if you've heard that one. That, you know, they were involved in swapping partners for orgies and things like this.
Oh.
But whether that's true or not, I don't know. I remember that being at the time.
Oh, that'd be the short straw, wouldn't it? Ended up one of them. Not playing this game anymore. Maybe that's where Julia Wandelt met Gerry.
Yeah, maybe it is. But I would say for me, though, where I would say I don't really know enough about and I will know more about is the other people that they were out with. I don't know enough about them to really comment at length. I'd have to find out more. Especially about that one, the weirdo.
Got their names, their kids' names, the Paynes, David Payne and his wife. Oh, I've got it all written down and everything. I need to go through it again, but we can always do a different angle on it next time or something if we want to. Because the PJ files, we can go through all them, and you got all the statements and everything. So there's absolutely tons of stuff to go through. So it's always an option for in the future to look at, say, David Payne's statement as well as his wife's or whatever, or whoever, whatever. I don't know. Make up how long. Make it up to go along, mate.
Analyze language and see why people have done what they've done. Consider it from a linguistic point of view. That's always useful. So yeah, if I'm about, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really
I
interesting. I hadn't planned it at all, so it was interesting.
No, I'll tell you about a case I was really interested in years ago. It was the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire couple, the way that they cheated inside. I'm not sure if you watched that one. That one's oh man, that was pretty shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really brilliant, actually. Really, really brilliant. But they fucked up. They messed up. They made mistakes. So.
But this just gives us a break from the news and the politics, doesn't it? Talking like this.
That's true. You heard of a guy called DB Cooper?
DB Cooper. DB Cooper's a good one. Mm.
That's a great story.
Did he survive? Do you reckon he survived the actual parachute, or
no?
Maybe. Probably not. Probably not.
Someone did find. They found a piece of or a scrap from money that was from that time period somewhere in Alaska. So, who knows? He might have got away with it.
Or like the Zodiac Killer. I know about the Zodiac Killer. There's so many in the States. DB Cooper's the most well-known.
Yeah.
What about Jack the Ripper? Nobody knows who Jack the Ripper is.
Now, I think they're close on the old DNA, don't they?
No, the one that always kind of haunted me, and it's only because I was a child at the time, was Susie Lamplugh. You remember her? She was an estate agent. It was in the mid-80s. And I always remember, for some reason, she went to go and visit someone called Mr. Kipper and was never, ever seen ever again.
Oh.
And it just, for some reason... Yeah. Yeah, estate agent.
Well, who was Mr. Kipper? Like the one she was visiting?
He was the name that she was apparently going to visit at her property.
Oh, right, okay.
But she never actually met this person, and they don't know whether this person was the killer or whether or not this person was maybe someone that she was visiting to take advantage of a house, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. How weird.
But it's a really weird case. They don't really know what happened. I mean, there is a suspect that they have in mind who does fit the bill, but who knows? Far too many of these things go unsolved, and it's the families that suffer.
Yeah, basically. But we'll have to listen to some more stuff. It's just good to have a break from everything else. So definitely,
it does get a bit too much when it's just politics all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, when Mo said, "Oh, do you want to talk about Madeleine McCann?" I was like, "We haven't spoke about that for ages." Because if you scroll right back, I have got some videos about it and all that, and I was sort of covering it, and then I covered the actual case of Julia Wandelt when she was in court and all that. And I thought, why not? Yeah, it'd be good to, because just a break. So yeah, I might have to do a bit more. Might have to do a bit more different sort of content, because we can always put it in a different playlist, so it's not an issue.
Yeah.
So
you could just something really out there, like Rendlesham Forest.
Yeah,
that's an interesting case, and it's also the place where I used to go often as a child, so somewhere I know pretty well.
Oh yeah, that does intrigue me, that one, especially with the light. They're saying every 5 seconds, and if you look at it, like they saying the lighthouse goes round, and every 5 seconds the light. So they had that, didn't they? But that bloke on the recorder though, saying like the way he's describing it and that's really intriguing, because you know it ain't gonna bullshit.
Exactly. So, and that's why I mentioned it, because there is that audio recording that gives it that bit of authenticity. And there's also police reports as well. So, if you wanted to have a look at that one, I'd be to have a look at that and talk about it.
Even something happened there like a few weeks later as well, apparently, or a month later or something. At some point, something happened there again later, and I was like, But yeah, that's why I started the channel with things like that, anything to do with like potential extraterrestrial and that. So been like that. So we'll have to do a like an investigation series, and I'll do a playlist or something. So like with something like this can go in it. I reckon that's what we should do.
Detective Mose and Wizardian. Detective Wizardian. Detective Jake.
So
So, yes,
Three great
paranormal
detectives.
investigators. It sounds like it'd be quite fun. Because the thing about Rendlesham is it's next to a US Air Force base where they were storing nuclear weapons. And it was amazing as a kid. I used to love going to the forest because you get all the jet fighters flying overhead, and the sound of it is just incredible.
Yeah, I'll come up with a name for it as a series. I'll set up a playlist for it. I'll put this in it, whatever it's going to be. This can be the first one of however. But yeah, any stories like that, let me know, and we'll have to, because we could, even if we don't know about it and say you do, Jake, then you can sort of direct us and get stuff up, and we can watch it and talk about it, and it's all new, and we all get to learn about it then. So I'm definitely up for that.
Yeah, because some of the names you mentioned, I've never heard of them before. So
no,
and I'm no expert on this, so it'd be interesting for me as well. The other thing I just briefly want to mention on Rendlesham Forest is you mentioned the lighthouse there. Next to the lighthouse, just off the coast, there's a shingle island that was top secret up in the 90s, where they used to do atomic weapons testing top secretly, not with the actual nukes, that they would stress test them against pressure and things like that to see what they could stand. So there's a lot of secrecy in that area. They invented radar there as well, so it's well known for having top secret things. So it's not surprising that something happened there.
We're gonna have to go camping. That's where we're going.
I think
Let's
I've
see
ever been
what
camping.
happens.
You certainly
Oh,
can
be cool.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
As long as we don't all wake up as reptilians or something.
Or get kidnapped by military police.
Yeah, never to be seen again.
No, they're not there anymore. But yeah, they certainly used to be. Armed guards on the gates, because you never used to see that in the 80s. So seeing people with guns was quite scary. But yeah, I'd be happy to look into it if you'd like to.
Yep, definitely. That's going to be a new series. We're going
I do have a theory about what I think might have happened as well.
Oh, cool! Happy days. I love a good theory.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, Wizard. If you could, just put it out in advance. Describe what case we're looking at, and then I can do my research. Jake can do you can do your research as well beforehand in advance, just to understand the general gist of what's happened and what statements have been made, sorting out the truth from the rubbish. We can talk about it.
Yeah, we'll do that. That'd be good.
Yeah, and then just let me know what day you want to do it, and I'll make sure that I'm available.
Yep. Yeah, I've got your email address, haven't I? So I can always email you.
Yeah, you've got my email, yeah. I mean, I don't think I can do next Tuesday, but I do Monday, for example.
Yeah, we'll make it up as we go along, mate. I've got to sort out with Michael as well, haven't we, about his 25-point plan. See if we can take that.
Yeah, but Michael keeps emailing me, but I have to explain to him many times. I have to reserve a slot for you. You're on a queue. He wants to come on my channel, but I just say you're on queue. It's just the way I operate. It's just the way my channel works. It's a first come first serve. I have so many guests waiting. I should have a guest uploaded this week, but he's been chasing me. Where's the video? Where's our interview on your channel? So yeah, I just got to catch up on a lot.
I didn't know if you'll do that sort of thing because it's not politics or something. Whereas I do a bit of everything, so I assume you would.
Yeah, well,
make up Helen, mate.
Helen knows about Rendlesham, so yeah, I think there'll be a bit of interest in that one.
Rendlesham.
Yeah, it'd be nice just to have something different. Like, so we've actually got like a investigation thing going on. Maybe I don't know, once a month, twice a month, or something. I don't know, just to give us a break. Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea actually, because you could look at things like paranormal, but also mysterious disappearances, things like that, and just try and brainstorm what could have happened.
Yeah,
like D.B. Cooper, for example, he could be be one.
Yep. Yeah, that would be a good one, actually. It'd be interesting to see what we come up with that. Write that down as well. Write that down. Happy days. Well, that's what we're going to be doing. There we go.
All right.
Make it also go
Have
along.
a great day, guys. All right.
Right. 3.5 hours.
Mate.
Happy days. So take it easy. I appreciate you popping up as well, Jake. Thank you very much. It's a bit make up as we go along, but
Cheers,
yeah, it was
Jake.
good because I know you're spot on with certain things, aren't you? So you're a very intelligent young man. So had to have you up.
Only about certain things. So thank you very much. Yeah, I better go and do some work now, actually.
Yeah,
but no, it's been really fun. It's been fun speaking to you. So
we will do it again. Take it easy, mate.
Jake.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.
Cheers, mate.
See you, mate.
Cheers,
All right, man.
Good one, mate. I enjoyed that. So yeah, we're
That
definitely
was
doing
great.
more.
Yeah, we could
We're
do
doing
like
more.
Michael Jackson as well. There's so many. Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
Johnny
definitely.
Depp.
Yeah, investigate anything.
Yeah,
mate. Why not?
Yeah, you can text me or I'll text you. I'll see if I can make it next Monday. If not, then I'll text you. But yeah.
Yeah, that's right, mate. No worries. We'll play it by ear. Not a problem.
But
Happy
do
days.
you prefer email? Do you prefer like by email instead of
Yes.
X?
Yeah, I check emails every
emails.
day, whereas X, I can ignore that.
Yeah, X is a bit complicated as well. It's just the platform is just so messy. I don't even know how it operates. It's not even it's not even social media. It's just it's like slop on top of slop on top of good news.
Yeah, you get like 10 or 12 views per post. It just ain't worth it. So
I just see like endless posts saying vote restore Britain, vote restore. It's just the same old shit. It's just a bit drab on
Sounds about
X
right.
lately.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't
Sounds about
support restore Britain. It's just, like everyone's posting as if it's some kind of fan club.
Yeah.
As a member of a political party, you're supposed to contribute. That's what we're doing at Advance UK. But anyways, that's another topic for another time.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day, mate. Okay.
Oh, mate.
I'll see you
You take
next
it easy, mate. Speak to you soon. See you later, mate.
Bless.
There we go, ladies and gents. Happy days. That was a good little investigation into the Kate and Gerry. Hope you enjoyed it. It was different. Went on for a bit though, didn't we? 3.5 hours. So yeah, due to that, obviously I couldn't be in the chat as much, but I do appreciate you all being there, saying what you say. It's all good. So we're going to have a little whizzing coat investigates type thing, and we'll do that once or twice a month or something. That just gives us a break from the news and a break from politics. So happy days. But anyway, right, what is today? I've lost track of the time. Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh, happy days. So back tomorrow, Wednesday. I'll be back at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for the call-in. So that'd be good. So join us for the 1 o'clock and join us for the call-in. If there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want to say, then jump up on screen and chat with the Wiz. It'll be happy days. So thank you very much, everyone in chat. I see Robert and Helen in there. Thank you very much. And Shield, take it easy. Thank you for the Kofi donation, Shield. I appreciate it. Much love. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And Phil done a £2 super chat. Happy days. You guys are very, very lovely and generous people. I love it. But until 1 p.m. tomorrow, stay safe, stay warm, have a nice, juicy dinner. But for now, that is the Wizard's words.